everybody? Welcome to another episode. I got my buddy Perez here. We went to boot camp together. I think we even got dropped off on the bus at the same time. Went to Marine combat training together. If you want to tell people who you are, man, and what you're up to.
So, like you said, for his last name, so I was in from 2013 to 2017. I was an operator, a radio operator with 211, and like Rubio said, we were in boot camp together, which is, I thought it was different because I've seen some of his other episodes, and everybody's seen you after, but they never seen you what you were before. So
Yeah, before the Marine Corps.
And like I was telling you before in our chat, man, I remember we were at MEPS together, and dude, I saw you pull up, and I was like, dude, this guy looks like a cholo. He probably thinks he's just like the baddest person on the block. He's gonna be that guy that's like, bro, don't talk to me like that to the drill instructor and this and that.
Oh, no way.
Dude, and if you didn't dress like that, I don't know why I had that image of you, but that's how I remember us being at MEPS that day.
I don't know. I think I just wore some jeans and fucking
You had a white you must have had a white shirt on or some solid color shirt on
maybe
to
like a
make it
solid red. Maybe a
That's
solid
probably what
red.
it was.
I did wear solid ass colors, just like a solid red shirt. I did have my cut, like I gave myself a buzz cut before boot camp
Yeah.
because I wanted to be just ready. But yeah, you were telling me how you think I was some cholo, some gangster from Cali, and
And I think like you must have made some remark or something towards, the people who were there telling us like, oh, don't do this, don't do that, eat, go to sleep, and that's it pretty much, at the hotel. You
hmm.
must have made a comment or something, and that's how we started talking. Because if you made a funny comment, I was probably gonna make a funny comment.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we fucking ended up going. I mean, we ended up picking you guys up. Like we were saying earlier, my brother and I ended up picking you guys up for combat training. But anyways, Marine Corps, right? Where are you from, and what is it that you would say led you on your path to join the Marine Corps?
So originally I'm from Vegas.
Okay.
Um, and it's funny because I really wasn't trying to join the Marines in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, not at all. Um, I've always been interested in doing military. I think when I was younger, I wanted to fly jets. Mm,
Same.
Fly jets. I don't know why everybody want to fly jets, but
Right.
so I mean, before I was a senior, I was already looking up stuff, trying to get them to send me things, pamphlets and that, because I mean, that's what I wanted to do. I already knew what I wanted to go.
Right.
Military, just didn't know which one. So at one point, I was like, I think I want to be a Cav Scout in the Army because it looks cool. I was
Mm-hmm.
reading those, like
Mm-hmm.
looking up stuff. So that's where I was gonna go. I was gonna go to the Army, and then I do. So my grandmother raised me, right, my whole life,
Yeah.
and one of her favorite shows was NCIS.
Oh goodness.
Exactly.
Cue
So
the
she
intro.
saw, dude, she saw the Gibbs, the Marines, like all the
Mm-hmm.
time, and she just loved them. And she was always like, "No, don't go to the Army. Go to the Marines. They look
Wow,
so
she was
fresh. They're
encouraging
just
the Marine Corps.
everybody else in my family was like, don't do that. That's stupid. They're dumb. Like
Yeah.
they're the worst. You don't want to go there. Go to the Navy. They're way better. They're smarter.
Did you
Go to
ever
the Air
hear?
Force.
Did you ever hear that the Marine Corps was like the bullet sponges or the bullet eaters
Yes,
or whatever?
they said you're just a body bag. You're just a number. Like you're literally gonna die. That's everybody was saying that. So I was like, all right, well. And
You're
everybody's like,
right,
oh, it's too
but
hard
I'm
too. And
joining.
at the point, yeah, well, at the point, I was like, I don't know if I could do it, man.
Yeah.
And I was like, the Army's just as good.
Yeah. Let's just go there. Yeah. Did you
Oh,
have any?
I did talk to some recruiters from the Army and this and that, but they're weird, dude. And I mean, I mean, not saying that they're bad people, but
Yeah.
you go to any other recruiters people, and then you go to the Marines,
It's so
it's like
different.
everybody says they're definitely professional. It's like some guy, one of these other guys told me he was just like, or maybe it was maybe it was your podcast. I heard it. Probably was your podcast.
Probably. What's
Where
that?
it's like they just that's what they do. That's like their life.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everybody, when you're there, that may not be true because trust me, we all have those friends that were recruiters and are like, dude, I hate this stuff. I don't
Yeah.
ever want to do this shit again. But they definitely put the front up and made you want to be a part of the brotherhood.
They give you that they give you that whole like it's not what we can offer you, but like what the hell can you do? Like, are you qualified to join the Marine Corps? You know, it's
Yeah,
not
that's what it
like
was.
it's not like a lot of people get this weird idea where it's like, oh, the Marine Corps just takes anybody. And in
Hmm.
some cases, maybe some recruiting stations, because you'll see some odd characters in fucking boot camp or inside the Marine Corps in general, but it's they don't make it that easy for some people. Even if you have one thing slightly off, it took me like a year and a half to get in, dude. It took me
It did.
forever.
It did to me too.
Yeah,
Because the first times I went to MEPS with the Marines, I don't know, maybe I was just nervous or something, but my blood pressure was just too high. They're like, you
oh
can't do this,
shit.
it's just too high. So I kept doing it, kept trying, and then I just got. They're like, no. So I was like, damn, I guess I'm just not gonna join the military. Then I can't do it. So I went to
Wow.
school. I went to college for a year, and then I was like, I can't. I
Fuck
had some
this.
guys that were Marines in my class, and they were talking
Yeah.
about their experiences. I'm like, dude, I'm missing out. That's all I wanted to do. So I ended up going. I don't know why, but somehow I made it past the thing when I couldn't before.
Yeah, that's weird. Maybe they just they were they requesting anything from you, like a doctor's note or something?
Yes, so they did. They said I had to go to a doctor and get it approved. And I went to, my doctor, and he was like, "You're fine. I don't know why they're saying you have high blood pressure."
Hmm.
So he signed off, signed the paper, and that was it. And
Wow.
then I think me and you were at MEPS doing our thing together.
Yeah, dude, it took me forever to get in there. It was ridiculous. I actually like didn't wasn't completely honest with them. Like I had gotten a surgery when I was in like 5th grade or something from like a hernia, and I couldn't get in. I was like, "Yo, man, like I really." They were like, "We need paper. We need papers from this shit."
Mhm.
And I was like, "Dude, like, it was so long ago. I don't even know if we have this sort of deal. You know, it's been since 5th grade." Um,
I had to get everything too when that happened.
did you for like just your high blood pressure shit or something else?
No, cause when they take you in the room and they're like really drilling on you,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
I lied the first couple of times, whatever. And then I came back to MEPS again, and this dude got me. He was just like, is there anything wrong with you? I didn't tell him, but I told my recruiter, I'm like, look, I'm just gonna be honest with these people out at this point. I broke my ankle years ago. It's fine, and that's it.
Wow.
He's like, if you put this on there, they want everything. I'm like, all right then. So now I had this big of a stack of just like, cause I went to a doctor for sickness, like dumb things,
Yeah, yeah,
but they want all that crap.
yeah. Wow. I didn't know that shit. So how hard was it to track down all those papers, or was it just a doctor that you would constantly go with, so you had it all?
Yeah, it was more like that. Like I went to the same doctor or hospital, so it wasn't that bad.
Well, that's good.
It was more crap for the recruiter to do, and thankfully he was cool. He was an infantry dude. This dude was chill,
Yeah,
and he didn't do no dumb stuff. He was just
yeah,
like straight through. None of this other trying to scare me into nothing.
yeah. It's kind of the
So
guys I think that who have done shit that are more like relaxed about things, and they're just like, man, I mean, this is how it is. It might not be the best, but this is how it is. Because a lot of people get the idea with recruiters that sometimes they do pitch, the whole Marine Corps thing, but they're also fairly honest when it comes to how it's actually going to be, and that it's not going to be enjoyable. They're like, it's going to suck. Yeah.
it's not that. This really wasn't that hard though to get through the first one. But like we were saying, boot camp wasn't really that big of a deal.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess you can go into that a little bit more. What is it for you that was the hardest part about boot camp?
It was definitely more the mental stuff. Like I guess as me coming in, I wasn't super confident about my physical strength.
Mm-hmm.
But just being able to do like I was smaller. I think I was like 130 or 120 coming in. So I was like, damn, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can be this beefy Marines that we see as
Yeah.
recruiters and this and that. But other than that, once we got past like realizing that the physical stuff, no matter what, you're still gonna get through it
Yep.
because
You'll get through
me and you are going through it. This
it.
person
Mm-hmm.
next to me is going through it.
Yeah.
That's why I try to tell people it's not that bad when you're in there because everybody else is also getting shitted on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird how it makes it better. If it was
And
just you and focused on you, I think it would
oh
suck a
yeah,
lot more. But since they get to spread the butter for everybody else, and everybody gets a little taste, um, Do you remember? Do you ever know Pavlenko or something like
Yeah,
that?
the Russian kid that was with us.
That Russian
Oh,
kid.
he's my boy. I don't know where he went. I loved hanging out with him in there. I don't know where he went. That dude got
Oh,
picked on. You know
they.
what? That's what I'm saying. This dude took it though. He took it. He cried one time, a couple times,
Yeah.
like one or two times, but he took it and he walked off, and that was it.
Yeah, dude. They were on him like crazy. They were like, I remember hearing them. We're gonna make him cry, and
Yeah,
they did.
they did.
They
Yeah.
broke the kid. They fucking focused on the kid and they broke him, cause he was getting fucked up all the time, right? For like
Oh yeah, for
everything.
everything.
Yeah, yeah. Boot camp. If you stand out, then they're gonna lock onto you and they're gonna try to make you not want to be there. Um, they do
But
it just.
I don't know. I don't know what your what your background from your family or anything like that, or how you grew up. But like the way I grew up more like faster and mature. I know, like I said, I was raised by my grandmother.
Mm,
My parents were, I'll be real, they were just fuck ups, dude. They were
mm,
just doing their own thing.
yeah.
So she raised me really good. So when I got there, like I was already mature enough to not, like oh crying because I miss my mom, or
Yeah.
like I'm not used to doing my own laundry.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hardest thing for people is being away from their
That
family.
that's what I think is not weird, but it's kind of it's definitely a little strange because they fucking try to show you everything. They're like how to fucking shave, how to put your fucking they're trying to show you how to dress up nicely, but I grew up getting my ass chewed from the beginning. Like I had already gotten my ass chewed before going to boot camp. I had already seen a few difficult things here and there.
Yeah.
That's why boot camp wasn't like I knew it was all a game, and I knew it was all set up, and I knew there was a schedule that they had to follow. Um, I know I noticed when they were trashing all our fucking shit, throwing our stuff everywhere. You could hear it on the top floor going on too. Like it was just.
And I think you're the one who told me this while we were there, though. Like you realize you're like, bro, it's fine. It's on the schedule. Like there's, I'm pretty sure because I remember somebody saying it, and
I
that's what
said
made
it
me like,
to. I said it.
oh, okay, then it's nothing. It's
Yeah.
gonna happen anyways.
I said it to. What the fuck is his name? Damn it. This black
So
dude was
one of
crying. Glasses. Nelson.
Nelson. Yeah,
Nelson.
it's Nelson.
Nelson was crying.
Damn.
And,
I hope
and
Nelson
shout
don't
out
watch
Nelson.
this.
I hope you're doing good. Not trying to put you on the
He's
spot.
good. I talked to him.
Good. Not trying to put him on the spot or anything, but like he was crying, and I was like, dude, this is like just a setup, right? Like, do you know that? Like, you can hear it happen, and then if you like really listen, you can hear the top floor getting destroyed. And I was like, this is just scheduled, and they were having us run back and forth,
There you go.
back. They were just
I think it was you and Platts or Plouts.
plouts, yeah, like the
He told me the same thing. He was just like, man. I was like, all right, well.
yeah, you could hear it, and I was like, yeah, it's a fucking game, it's gonna happen. And
It's funny you mentioned Nelson and the whole crying thing, which I know he don't care no more. He's a tough dude.
yeah,
Because everybody's cried at least once or twice. You may not be crying because it's hard, or maybe just thinking like, damn, I miss my family.
I got emotional
You
at
still
boot
haven't
camp.
seen them.
Yeah.
I think the most part you get emotional is when you go to the religious service. No matter if you're religious or not, somehow you're there and somehow you're crying.
I got emotional on the Reaper, like on the top of the Reaper. That's where I got
Bro, they didn't
emotional.
even know I was in the platoon. Did I ever tell you that?
What's up?
So when we got there and we got our EGAs,
Uh
who did you get? Who gave you yours?
huh. Gomez, I think is his name. Sergeant Gomez.
Okay, so it wasn't Pettit and it wasn't.
Not Pettit. And
I
not
wanted Pettit to get mine. I thought Pettit was cool, dude.
He was cool.
If anybody taught me something about life in a weird way, he did.
In a weird way. Yeah,
Because
Sergeant Pettit.
to this
Shout
day,
out Pettit. I hope
to
you're doing
this
right.
day, what did he used to say, man? You never
You
made
never
it.
made it. You
Never
never
made
made it.
And everybody still says that was with us.
Yeah, I still
Capoeira,
say it
I think
now.
is that.
I still say to people, I was like, just remember one thing. You never made it.
And I remember when he was explaining, he's like, I'm not trying to say that, like, to be an asshole or
Yeah.
nothing, but just think about it. Like, there will always be someone that's going to be above you or better.
Dude, I should get him on the podcast.
He'd be good. But you know who probably would maybe do is probably Gomez.
You think so?
because I think Gomez has some of the other guys on friends and stuff, and I think
Hmm.
I seen him comment other people's stuff.
Oh, do you have him on
I
Facebook?
haven't seen him. He's on there. I don't think I have him, but
Hmm. I don't even know his
I
first
think
name, so it'd be weird to find him.
Richard.
Richard? Oh, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, Richard
Yeah, just
Gomez.
because, like I said, I seen him on commenting on someone's stuff before.
I'll have to add him, and then I'll be like, "Yo, dude, what's up? You were my drill instructor."
But dudes, he gave yours up there when it got to me. He was like, "Who are you? Have
What?
you been in my platoon this whole time?" I was like, "Yes, sir." Well, good job. Gives it to me and
Really?
moves on. I'm like, "What the?"
Oh, that's so bad.
Dude,
That
I did it. I mean, to his defense, I kept a low profile and I did it on
that's
purpose. You know.
smart. Yeah, that's smart. That's like if you don't wanna try to pick up, right? Or if you just want to make sure you make it through and you don't get fucked with too much, that's the way to do it. 100%. 100%. Like I was trying to get squad leader and I got it for a little bit, but I ended up getting fucking fired.
You know what's funny also is hearing your normal voice.
My normal voice or just
Yeah, just your normal voice because over there
oh
you
yeah, because you're
lost that
just
dude. You didn't
yeah,
have your voice
no
the
way.
whole time.
Yeah.
You sounded like them.
Yeah, you were like
You sounded like that the whole. I
yeah.
think the whole entire time you were there, man.
Yeah, I remember when we first got one phone call because we won like initial drill or some shit like that. We got that phone call and I called my mom and I was, "Hey mom, hey it's Caesar," and she was like, "Oh my god." She's like, "What happened to your voice?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's gone. You know, I'm just here." Sounded like I've been smoking for fucking 50 years, dude. Like it you lose, you scream for sure. You definitely lose your voice. Um, they definitely make you fucking go through that whole process of. I was starting to get comfortable at the end, to be honest. Like I was like,
Oh,
man,
I think everybody does, and
yeah,
that's what I tell other people. I'm like, after the first week or about the first phase, I'd say
first phase.
maybe
First
not. Yeah,
phase
maybe the
sucks.
first phase.
Yeah,
You after that, dude, you're good. You
yeah.
realize that it's kind of funny a lot of the stuff.
A lot of
There's
it's
still
hilarious.
parts still. Like for me, heights is a big thing for me.
Which one?
Heights, just heights in general.
Hikes? Yeah.
Heights, like height.
Heights. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
So when we had to go over like that big A frame, dude, I
Mm-hmm.
was short. I couldn't even get to the like they space him out more.
I didn't
And
even
I
have to
remember
do that.
looking up, man. I couldn't. Oh, you didn't?
No, no. I got lucky. I was terrified of it. I was like, "Fuck, I don't want to
It
do that."
sucked. I
But I
was
was.
short, man. I couldn't make it up there. I did it, but I had to figure it out.
Did you go all the way up?
I did. I used the sides. So you know how like it's a frame and then
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fuck, they made it look so easy.
if they're taller, yeah,
Was it Pettit? Was it Pettit that fucking ran right through that bitch like nothing?
probably.
I think he was a demonstrator or whatever. Yeah, dude, that they really make you face a lot of your fears. Whether it be like going down that tower with the fucking rope. Like I had to jump it. I had to do the hole. I didn't do the
I did
wall,
too. I
which I'm
didn't do the wall
thankful
either.
for.
Yeah, you didn't want the wall, dude. I was scared of both of them. Just like I said, because heights is just
They were both freaky. The jumping in the hole one was creepy as fuck because you had to just hop in a hole and hope that the rope held, right? Um, and then you just start going down. But that was it was definitely something that I had to force myself. Like I remember I had to do one where it's like two logs kind of separated like this at like a 45-degree angle almost, but it's like
okay.
foundation log, taller foundation log, and they make you jump from one to another,
Mhm.
and then that's how you accomplish that one. But I was like, yo, I can't jump that far. Like that's too far. And they were like, go, and I was like, bleh, jumped. I fucking just right to my
ate,
chest.
ate the whole thing.
Just ugh. That shit was not fun. Um, but I agree with you though. I thought combat training was a lot harder. At least when we were going through, and at least when with my specific platoon or whatever or company, that shit was way more difficult than boot camp.
Yeah,
It was way more physically demanding. Way more.
guys. So I was supposed to go with you. I
Mm-hmm.
was supposed to be in the same one with you and I ended up getting a ticket over leave, and that's what ended up holding me back to Lima.
What ended up happening? So you get a ticket. What happens then? Like if you were on leave, right? On your boot camp leave or what? Or your
Yeah.
vacation?
So I mean, they just wanted it to be settled. That was it. But how the
Oh,
hell am
that's
I
it.
supposed to settle it if I wasn't there? So I had to get my mom and my grandmother to go and on my behalf to do it.
Oh, because you were already with us.
Yeah, because it was literally I got it literally the day before I got on the flight.
Damn, he gave you. Did you tell him you were going to be leaving? To
Yeah, dude. I told him like, and you know what?
what?
He pulled me over.
Ass.
It was a so in Vegas they have these green cops,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gang unit or special units,
Okay.
right? So he was in a normal police car, but he was a gang unit person, and he pulled me over for like a traffic violation. He said that my brake lights was out or something.
What a dick. And he still
But
gave you a
his
ticket.
defense, Mike. So my grandmother, dude, she loves to buy like expensive, bigger cars. I would say kind of. So she
Mm-hmm.
had a Cadillac Escalade.
Oh shit.
So
Oh
I'm driving with a
shit.
Cadillac Escalade
Yeah.
with my girlfriend at the time, which is now my wife, and like we just got done going bowling and we going home. But you see this young kid with a Cadillac Escalade. I'm like assuming that's why he pulled me over.
That's
Because
probably
when I
fair.
got home, my brake light wasn't messed up, but I still got the ticket anyways.
Wow.
I
That's
know.
fucked up
I
though.
told him I was like, officer, really, I'm literally like I'm going to go tomorrow to MCT my training. Here's my military ID. He was like, thank you for your service. Here's your ticket.
Oh. I got one like that, dude. I had just gotten back from fucking being overseas. We're having our ball and I'm in my fucking blue not in my blues. I have my white undershirt and I have my blue bottoms and I got my blue coat in the back chilling there with my medals. And I'm maybe going 70 in a 65, maybe a little less. And this cop pulls me over and he comes up to me and he's like, where are you headed to? And I was like, I'm picking up my girlfriend, so we can go to the ball. I'm actually running a little behind. That's why I'm kind of going a little bit faster.
Eden.
Yeah, and then he was like, oh, okay, okay, I'll be right back. And he gives me the ticket. He writes the ticket. And I was like, hey man, can you cut me some slack? Like I'm just getting back. I'm just getting back to the States. He was actually before that. Sorry, let me backstep. He said that he was in the Navy. He was a corpsman, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, this dog's gonna take care of me, right? Just like they do." Nope. He said, "Here's your." I was like, "Yo, man, can you take?" I was like, "Is there any way you can just kind of let this go or whatever?" He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's too late." And I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, and he just gave me the ticket, and I was like, "Ah, come on, man, come on." But
So
it'd
that's
be
that's why I didn't end up going with your
yeah.
like everybody else, which kind of just disappointed me too. But then
Yeah.
I heard Lima was chill, so I was like, oh cool, I'm gonna be chilling. I get my phone, blah blah blah. Dude, it sucked.
Oh, did it
It was
really?
cool to an extent, but all you did was working parties, like all day.
Lima? Is that what it was?
Lima.
Really?
It's for people who are getting like who are broken at the moment, who
Oh.
maybe are getting separated.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, or had an issue for whatever reason they can't continue yet. So it's like
Sure.
it's a holding platoon.
Damn. How long did you have to be in that before you picked up with another company so you can go through it?
I think it was only a month. I don't think it was that long.
That still sucks though. A month of just
It
like.
did because like with you guys had at least you had your boys from 41 or even some
Mm-hmm.
of the other people you
Mm-hmm.
remember, and I had a couple people. So I had Little.
Okay. I remember Little.
I had Little with me. I had Knopf.
Yeah, I remember him. We were in
I
Kuwait
had
together actually.
I had those two. Um, and I had Heath. You remember Heath? He wasn't in our platoon, but dude,
Heath.
he was the big black guy, had glasses, and this dude was always getting fucked up.
Really?
Always
I
getting
don't
fucked up
remember
in the
that.
dirt. We would literally, our whole platoon would be walking outside, and he would be the one getting fucked up all the time.
Really?
He was getting messed up by Jones, Broadway. He was in their platoon.
Oh, he was in Jones' platoon. Tall black dude, right? Super
Yeah,
tall black dude. Yeah, I
and
don't
he would
remember the guy.
always get fucked up.
Damn. No, I don't remember that. But
But that's who I ended up going with. So
how would you describe your Marine Corps combat training experience?
easier than yours, from what I hear. I didn't have no, I didn't have no instructors getting charged with excessive hazing and
It was
abuse.
excessive. It was excessive.
But like you said, the person that we were talking about, that mutual friend of ours,
Mhm.
I don't know, because he acted that way kind of in boot camp too.
He
So
was
that's why
doing some stupid shit. He was doing some dumb
I
shit. I
believe it.
think it was. I think he had left somewhere. Um, and because I know Lomeli, he got picked up at MCT and he went to a party and then came back. I don't know how he snuck out, but he snuck out. I think,
I don't know how he did that either.
but he probably knew somebody on Pendleton or something. But
Yeah,
yeah, dude, something happened and that dude fucked up, and but we were getting fucked up like excessively.
he told me that it went to the point where the command had to start filing some investigations. I don't know if charges went through eventually, but
Cause
I was like, damn, dodged a bullet, didn't
yeah,
get
you did.
abused.
Yeah, like yeah. You definitely dodged a bullet. Cause I asked some of my guys that went through. All right, fuck. Sorry about that. We're back. We're back, guys. Yeah. All right, man. So you were saying
Ah,
Marine Combat Training, MCT, San Diego.
it like I said, it wasn't as bad as yours. My instructors were pretty cool, and this is like what I was talking about off the camera about the whole, if you haven't deployed, or like even if you have deployed, is if you didn't go to a combat situation or unit, like you're already in a different bracket than the rest of the ones who've been there. So
Yeah.
this is the first time I seen this like in person, because one of our instructors was a reservist and he hasn't gone nowhere. Like not a lot of reservists do, I guess, but I think he was an infantry guy. So I think that it messed with him even more, is that he's an infantry reservist and he hasn't deployed, and the other instructors would sometimes pick on. They would say like they would call him boot. Let's be
Oh,
honest,
really? Damn.
but not like in front of everybody. But when you're passing by, they're like, "Shut the fuck up, dude! You don't know what you're talking about."
Wow.
But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
besides that, everything was just the hikes, man. I'm short, and they would always put the tall people in front, and then to make everybody run the hikes. But
Yeah.
other than that, I think it was harder than boot camp, but I think it was also fun.
Fun. Because you got to do a lot cooler shit, right? Like,
Yeah,
you got to do a little bit more of shooting bigger guns.
you
Fuck.
definitely become more closer with everybody too. Like I remember I had a problem with one of these guys, and we were talking shit. We almost got into fights, and then we got stuck in the same squad as to go do a patrol or whatever.
Yeah.
And they put us in the same hole together. And me and this dude were not talking. I was like, you know, you just keep by yourself, and I'll just do my thing.
Yeah.
And then when we had a simulated firefight,
All
it was different.
right.
It was different. I'm going, he's going, and he's like, "Hey, I'm reloading." I'm like, "Hey, I got you, bro."
Yeah.
Oh, like we're doing cool stuff.
Oh shit, bro! I called you, bro. We're good now. You know.
Yeah, we're good. Hey, I gotta reload. He's like, "I got you." It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. That was fun. As much as it sucked, it was pretty cool having to do all that. Like having to be in a fucking fighting hole all night. That shit kind of sucked, but it was still cool because you were exhausted, and then out of nowhere, ta 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 ta, it just started going off, and it definitely immerses you in the whole combat
really
thing.
start doing the whole brotherhood thing, like even more if you didn't already get it before in boot camp, and it's just like piling on and becoming more and more.
Yeah.
And like, oh, like I said, I went with Nelson, so Nelson was in my platoon. I remember, I guess I was sleeping. So I remember we had to sleep on top of a hill or whatever
Mm-hmm.
in our little bags, and someone had to be fire watch. But I guess I was sleeping, but I would snore,
Mm-hmm.
and it was pissing off somebody else. And the dude was kicking me in my sleep. And so Nelson was like, "Hey, bro, like, the fuck's your problem?" Blah blah blah. And me and Nelson weren't even close yet like that.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
He had your back though, huh? From the
It's
beginning.
different. And
Yeah.
same thing. Me and him were in the whole, the whole 24-hour whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just start talking about stuff and getting close.
Dude, you get to know people so well when you do posts with them, or like when you're doing something like, for example, what we did in Kuwait, right? We stood post. We were security around this new base that was Al Jabber. It wasn't shit when we got there. So we were doing security around it, but you'd stand post with somebody different almost every night. And the only thing that would help make time go by is literally talking about yourself and talking about like your life back at home, and just
Yeah, that's
like
what it was.
kind of now, and that's when you really get to know people and you get close, and that's I don't know. Being deployed, I got to meet a lot of people, but I get what you're saying, where you just get to talking, and that's literally all you're doing, and you get to know each other, and sure enough, you're fucking buds after the whole thing's over.
And in the grand scheme of everything, yeah, that stuff was, it's just, I wouldn't say childish stuff, but it's nothing compared to what other people later on when you hit the fleet, and some people who did deploy like you and others that you've had on the podcast actually go through the whole real thing. But at that time, like that's what I was looking forward to. I was
Yeah,
like, cool, I'm gonna be, with my brothers doing whatever we're doing in a situation. I may be one day doing this. So, and then, once we left MCT, uh, you went to be what, an operator?
I was a mech.
You were a mech.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you were with Alderson too, right?
Alderson, yeah, Alderson and Lomeli, yeah.
And that dude did not like me. I don't know why, but he just fucking didn't like me. I didn't do anything to him, but I remember, dude, if anybody who, I mean, I don't dislike the guy now, even now, but
Yeah.
if I could pick somebody else to hang out with, I probably wouldn't, I probably wouldn't pick him.
Yeah, he was a little aggressive in the beginning for sure.
Dude, he said, "Hey, you look like this guy I knew in my old platoon." And I was, like, okay. He's like, I didn't like him, so I'm probably not gonna like you.
Wow.
So something to that degree. I mean, maybe I didn't get it, but that's what he said. And then he started calling me some other name, like Delgado or the Desaro. I don't know, some weird name.
Some
but he
weird
just
name.
never liked me that whole fucking time.
Fucking Alderson. Yeah, I went to North Carolina with him. We got
So you
drunk.
guys were mechs, huh?
Yeah. All maintenance. All of us were maintenance. Yeah, it was interesting for sure. We got a lot of drunk nights in North Carolina as fucking fresh new Marines with no other responsibilities but going to the school or whatever it was. Did you end up picking radio operator for any specific reason, or?
So that's another funny story too. So when I went to the Marines,
Mhm.
I was like, I want to be a tank driver. I want to drive tanks.
Rip tanks no longer available.
I know it's a sad day when I heard that too. I was like, damn, dude. But yeah, I wanted to drive tanks, so I told my recruiter, let me drive tanks, and he's like, you don't meet the score yet. Cause at school, man, I wasn't a school person at the time.
Me either.
I think my
Dumbest rocks.
QT was 91. The whole ASVAB was 51. Like it was.
So you got higher than I did.
Dude, it wasn't great. So he was like, and we don't have an opening for it, so you're gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
And he's like, do you want to be transport? There's an $8,000 bonus to be a motor T transport like driver, just a driver, bro. And I was like, no, I don't want to drive trucks. I want to do something cool. Stupid. I don't want to drive trucks.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, well, we got mortarmen. And I was like, all right then. I seen the Pacific. That's a badass job,
I've seen
bro.
the Pacific.
He's like, are you good at math? I was like, no. He's like, that's not your job for you then. So then he was like, all right, you're just gonna have to wait, man. There's nothing open that you want right now, so just give it some time. We'll wait on it. So
Wow.
on my birthday, on my 19th birthday, he calls me up like at 7 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock, and he's like, hey, we got assault man. You want to be an assault man? We'll put you in right now. It's a reserve spot though.
Oh.
And I was like, I guess. Like, that's cool, I guess. He told me you get to kick doors or do some weird stuff. I don't know. It's not like a normal infantry dude.
Sure.
So I was like, all right. So I get to the office. He's like, so I got a better job for you. You want to be a radio operator? And I was like, what's that? He's like, the guy who carries on the radios, dude's life expectancy is like 7 to 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But it'll be fine. I was
Yeah.
like, fuck it. That sounds cool too.
Yeah. He sold you with
And
radio operator, huh? He was like, yo, you might see some shit here or there. You might get fucking... Because I know that life expectancy thing was like Vietnam. They were just fucking...
Yeah. But at the time, I didn't know no different.
Yeah, you're 19 years old. You're gung-ho. You're trying to go out there and...
But he's like, you're the second most important person. You have your CO, whoever is leading you, and then there's you. And then Doc. That's the third one, I guess they put. But if you had no comm, like, you weren't communicating and you guys were not fighting.
That's fair.
So.
It's fair. And if you did end up going to like a battalion that was currently active, you would have definitely, been in some locations for sure.
So then that's when I left MCT, I went to 29 Palms, and then that's where all the
The
comp
school.
communications, and that's where Rodriguez went too, because he ended up being he's a data guy.
Mm-hmm.
He worked with computers, and then Knopf was a wireman.
Wow. And how long was the schooling for radio operator in 29 Palms?
Something like 2-3 months.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, but man, that time was a fun time too.
Yeah.
Honestly, I miss all those guys too. I had Heath again, and me and Heath were boys. That's when, yeah, he's like my big brother over there.
Nice.
Again, I wasn't big still. I was like 140 getting out,
Yeah. Dude,
so I still had
fucking.
to deal with some big dudes, being irritated, all that testosterone everywhere,
Yeah,
finally
that.
seeing girls for the first time.
For a long, like, since it's been a while already, too.
Yeah, because we didn't have no girls with us, MCT,
Yeah.
and when some people got there, they're like, "Oh, there's women here,"
Oh my
freaking out.
god.
Like,
Yeah. I've heard a lot of bad stories about school, especially being stationed at 29 Palms. Because all the
I don't know
time.
how you did it.
What, being stationed there? Uh, Busy, long hours, didn't really have time to fucking think about it. Just,
I guess that would make it different.
what's up?
I guess that would be, that would make it different is, if you're busy all the time. But for schooling, like, at least I didn't live that far from Vegas, so I would go on the weekends sometimes.
See, that was the lucky thing is that being stationed there, I was only 3.5 hours away from home. But
See?
it honestly, what it did more for me, it made me miss a few opportunities of spending time with my boys instead of like sometimes I think back and I'm like, man, I kind of wish I stayed at base instead of going home.
Yeah.
Cause I was like right there, I could have been okay. I was like, I should have just fucking stayed a few times and gone to some
You
of
know
those
what the other
parties.
biggest thing too? I don't know about you if you did, but taking pictures.
I took a few. I didn't take as much. I wish I took more.
Yeah, exactly. You look back and you're like, I don't know why I didn't take. Like at the time, I was like, this is stupid.
It's
I'm not
that
gonna take
stupid
pictures.
ego.
Yeah,
That's all it
but
is.
then you just think about it, like, dude, I don't have a picture with that dude,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you know, it's sad to think, cause I don't know how many you guys or how many of your boys like, ended up not being here today, but there was a couple people that I remember, and when I got out, you see them on Facebook, and
Yeah.
then you see somebody, one of their family members posting that they're no longer here anymore, and you're like, damn, I wish I would have had a picture at least with him, or have talked to him beforehand or not. And that's the
Yeah.
that's the rough part too about this whole entire profession, if not just the Marines.
Yeah. It's definitely a big thing that affects a lot of people when they get out. It's crazy. I do understand what you're saying. Um, we've had I mean, there's like articles on my unit being haunted for suicide. Like it's haunted by suicide because it's so many people who are constantly doing it. Um, but yeah, man, it's I get it. Sometimes you just want to wish you were like you had that moment, permanently.
Mhm.
Like, oh, here's when we were having a fucking shitty ass day, but we still posted up for a picture. You know,
Yeah,
we might have not been going through the best of times, but you were doing it with your buddies, and I think that is what makes it bearable. Is doing it with those people. It's
and
crazy.
as
It's
and as
so
much as
crazy.
like, I'm not saying that the Marine Corps was the best time of my life.
No.
Well, no, I guess what I am saying is it was a good time, but
It was.
it could have been better.
Yeah.
And the downs parts of it don't outweigh the up parts, I guess. Also, like, I
Like the
don't miss all the like
positives.
the dumb stuff that like we talked about, like in general, just stupid things like cleaning up cigarette butts for like hours or something, or
Yeah.
cleaning dirt to make dirt clean. I don't know, just stupid things you could think of. But I miss all the other things, and
Yeah.
I have pictures. I put up stuff because the Marines was a big part of my life.
It
It
was a
is
big part of all of
who,
our lives.
yeah, it made me who I am today.
Yeah.
And without it, I would not be here in the situation that I am now.
Yeah. I think there's a big stigma where it comes to being proud of being a Marine or being proud of um, that's why I think we didn't take pictures. It was like there was something against being a motard. There was something against being like, yeah, let's fucking get it. Like let's get off to the field. All right, let's set it up. Let's go. because we were in the field fucking way too much. It was crazy field work. But some days I think back and I'm like, man, I kind of miss sleeping under the stars, like just fucking peaceful,
You
quiet.
didn't you have trucks? You didn't sleep in your truck?
Oh no, 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 we didn't sleep in our trucks. We've slept in our trucks once or twice, and then they were like, you can't sleep in your trucks anymore.
Yeah, no, they made us sleep in cot. Well, when I was first in, you know, fresh boot man to the unit, they made us sleep on cots outside or on the floor with our little thing. But I slept on top of my truck, and I missed that part. I missed sleeping on top of the truck, like you said, and staring at the
Hmm.
stars.
Dude, it's
And
fucking, it's awesome.
because we
Wait,
went to 29 a lot too.
yeah, there's something weird about that desert piece, about being out there and it's just quiet as fuck. Or there's like shit going on, but it's not like it's different type of activity than it would be back in the fucking water pool or back at your building. It's definitely different. It's quieter. There's shit like actual shit going on. Like you're doing
Yeah.
things. Um, I don't know.
So
You're
when
dirty. Like it's
that
it's
last
weird.
episode you were talking about when you got to the fleet, you didn't get picked up either or something because it was the ball and there was everybody's too drunk or something.
No, that's not it. I think that was my buddy. It might have been McCorn. I ended up when I got to the fleet, I got there on a Friday, or I had to check in like on a Saturday or something. I can't remember. Friday afternoon by a specific time. And I checked in, and again, like I told you, it was like a wing unit. I was in a wing unit for a few months. Um, so it was very relaxed compared to what it would have been like if I was going into 27 directly. That would have
Just
been a
straight.
whole different shit show. Like I'm kind of thankful that it wasn't 27 directly, because I would have gotten my ass hazed. Um,
But it's funny when he said that story is because like same thing happened to me. It was me and this other dude. We just graduated from comm school, got drove all the way to Pendleton, and they put us in these like run down barracks over there in Old Main Side. It was like where the separation people were going
oh
when they
well,
got kicked out.
yeah,
So then the next day, nobody was there to pick us up to our unit. And I don't know
really?
if you've ever seen this guy, and he's been on social media a couple times. His name is he goes by like Tanksley, the tank.
I might not. I'll have to figure it out.
He had one. He was like he goes I think he was like helping Black Rifle Coffee too, like with their ads or promoting it. But
Oh, cool.
he was the staff sergeant that picked us up, and I remember he was the most motivated dude ever.
Really?
And he really got it going. Like he got the fire going. Like cool, I'm about to be in this cool ass unit. I'm finally hitting the fleet to be a real Marine and this and that. Like, but he picked us up because everybody too drunk to pick us up from the ball.
Oh wow. So you got there a little bit right after the ball, huh?
Yeah, actually, I think we got there, what like November 6th or something. But everybody's ball
Oh.
is different or something. So
Yeah, people will have it on like different times or whatever.
I think we got there maybe closer to the 11th because I think we got there, checked in, and then went straight to Libo. And we're like, cool, this is
Fuck yeah,
sick.
vacation, baby.
And
Yeah,
then got ringed in when we first got back. So
yeah. How was your like your initial experience in the fleet?
it was rough
It was rough.
from what I remember. It's just because like I said, the generation that came before us, they had already been doing stuff. You know what I mean? Like they were all
Some,
deployed. Some
yeah.
people were just coming back from, I don't remember if it was Afghanistan or something, but
Afghanistan,
they
yeah.
they definitely just came back
Hmm.
and they were rough.
Yeah.
They were hard on us, and to to an extent, I think it at the same time because I can deal with a lot of shit now. Like I
Yeah.
will know like it'll never be as bad as that person or never be as bad as that time.
Yeah, it won't be as bad as that person. Yeah, sometimes,
Dude,
sometimes.
we had some times, man. Like I remember our sergeant, he had been overseas, and
Mm.
we were standing in formation one time in our bay, our comm bay, and we had the mass sergeant, we had the staff sergeant, we had the gunny. They're all there. We're doing some formation, and he's talking to us, and he's like getting, I forgot what he was pissed off about. He's pissed off at something. And he's like, we can settle this shit in the motor pool. Like we'll go right now, and I guarantee I'll beat your ass. And I don't care if those motherfuckers are here hear me say it, cause I'm gonna beat your ass.
Wow.
And the
Jeez.
mass sergeant, staff sergeant, everybody just
Didn't say
didn't
shit.
hear it. I'm like, shit.
Oh wow,
It's
jeez.
different. When I was telling him on my brother, he's in now, and
Mm.
it's a different environment. Those guys, they won't dare touch people now. They can't even say that stuff because people were so quick to
Report it.
get on the paperwork. Yeah, get on the
Wow,
paperwork, throw the order or whatever. It's a little bit more PC, I would say.
that's crazy.
And that's why, like, I hear his stories. I'm like, bro, that they would take your ass to the motor pool and beat your ass.
Yeah,
A couple of
I
the
I saw
corporals,
some shit.
sergeants,
Yeah,
they don't give a shit.
yeah, I saw some shit, and I'm sure it was worse even before that. Even before like our time, I'm sure it was definitely. But like I definitely saw some guys. I had to stop a fight actually. I was like, yo, 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 it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Don't do it. I was like, it's
Dude,
not
they
worth it.
pulled this man. They pulled my corporals. They were pissed off because this guy missed formation, and we're
Mm-hmm.
all being held up, to go on weekend. They pulled this man out of the fucking shower, like butt naked, because he was in his barracks room, butt naked, and they pulled his ass out of the shower. And like, I just remember hearing that, and they made him get dressed. They like get dressed. They made him do everything like
Yeah.
that. I was like, shit.
Jesus Christ. Well, that's what you get, man. We try to get on limo, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good time. Like I said, even those parts, even the hazing parts.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, it's funny because that last episode's pretty fresh in my mind because I think I watched it the other day when I was at work. We're listening to it, and a lot of the hazing stuff you guys are talking about, it doesn't make sense. Some of the stuff, there really was no purpose for it.
Yeah. A lot of it is unnecessary. 100%. A lot of it.
Yeah,
I think for some situations it should be there, but I think it would be like more serious situations. Like if
and there was something that your friend did say, like he doesn't think it's, and if it was tradition, like he doesn't think that's like right or whatever.
right, some tradition should.
And I don't necessarily. There's a part like I didn't really agree with that, but it's different because, like I said, our experiences were different.
Yeah,
When I got pinned on the whole, bloody eagle or whatever it was
I got
called,
that shit.
I got it too.
Yeah,
And over the time, whatever, I didn't start seeing how much it meant that they did that to you
it
until I
means.
seen somebody not get it.
Yeah,
When you knew somebody in the shop was a shitbag and nobody cared to do it because
yeah,
nobody cared about that person.
yeah. That's weird, right?
It is.
It's like we're not
Because
gonna punish you because we don't want you to be like a part of our
yeah, we
shit.
don't see you as, the brotherhood
Yeah, you're
because
not a part
you're a
of
piece of
the.
shit, dude.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Like when
what.
I got my blood stripe,
That shit sucks.
every like all the people who I looked up to,
Yeah.
well, at least my leadership, the guys who I like taught me and this and that, and they all did it to me, and it was like it was like, hey, I'm glad you're finally part of us now. Like
Yeah.
it's glad to see you in our ranks now.
Yeah.
And I seen the other guy who got promoted right next to me. Nobody did it to him. They
Ooh.
didn't care.
Yeah. It's
It was just
definitely a
like,
weird thing. Yeah, it's definitely a strange because I remember my staff sergeant did it in front of me, like in front of our officer, like our platoon commander. He was like, he like slapped he like rubbed my chevrons before he
mm-hmm,
did it, and he was like grabbing my traps, and he grabbed my chevrons, and he
like
was like,
push it in.
it's just a part of tradition. Just pushing
Exactly.
those fucking needles into my fucking chest, and I
And
was
I
like,
get it. It's brutal. It's up. It's cavemanish, but
no, it's
that
weird.
is
It's
one
a
of those
warrior.
things
It's a
that
warrior
separate.
culture, is
Yes.
what it is. That's what
Yes.
it is. It's not caveman-y. It's a warrior culture where it's like you have to go through this in order to be this. Like you're picking up a fucking leadership role. Like I don't know. I didn't mind it. Like it sucked, but it was still. I was like, all right, I went that path. I did it that way. I didn't do it this bitch ass way. I went this way, and I fucking
That was the other thing. I didn't. I wasn't the bitch. I didn't do the bitch out way. I took everything.
yeah, because you could totally be that one person or those two people, but man, nobody. I don't know. You just kind of get slightly shunned.
It's because then you're like, dude, you can't take a joke. Like
Yeah,
you're not
it's like, are you actually gonna have our back? Like what's going on here?
exactly like, are you gonna fold under this little bit of crap?
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a strange thing, but I think sometimes like the whole sometimes tradition thing is good. Don't overdo it. Don't be an asshole.
Oh yeah, there
At
was
least
people who took it to a different level.
yeah, there's some people who take it to a extremely different level. What else? I think I don't mind
But
this one. This one sucks. but it's
Yeah.
it's not as bad as I think the blood stripes. The blood stripes suck.
Did you guys have anything motor T, MOS related, like tradition that you would do? I don't know. Like,
No, but I heard like Artie has one. I heard a few people have one.
they
Um,
sure do.
give me 1 second, okay? I gotta take a piss. I'll be right back, okay?
All right.
All right, we'll be back. Guys, we'll be back. There you go. We're back. I broke the seal, so yeah. Excuse me. I don't drink that much. I don't drink
say like you used to.
I don't drink. Well, I just don't.
You didn't drink that much either?
Oh no, I drank a fuck ton.
Okay.
I drank a lot. I drank like a few bottles of Jack a week, because me and my buddy, the guy actually who was on episode 1 parody, we were roommates and we'd be at fucking work just pissed off, tired. It'd be like hour 14 or whatever, and then we'd finally get off 16-hour workday and we'd look at each other and we'd be like, Jack, and he'd be like, yeah. And we'd go straight to the PX. If the PX wasn't open, we'd go out to the liquor store right outside base. Yeah, and we'd fucking just buy a bottle and go back to base and get fucked up.
So,
and
what is it about Marines that is Jack? Like,
I don't know.
Out of everything,
I know it's
I
gross.
work with
It's
this
not even
other
that good.
dude. I work with this Marine too, and same thing. We're together. We had to go somewhere for a company thing, and we went to
Yeah.
the bar, and I was like, "You're gonna order Jack, aren't you?" And he's like, "Yeah, straight. I'm gonna order it straight." And I was like,
I don't know. I don't know
Knew
what it is. It's the sponsor for the Marine Corps or something.
our Navy friend he was like, "Bro, I bet you guys are both gonna order Jack, aren't you?"
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, damn straight. I mean, I'll drink something else too, but that's just my favorite. I don't know why.
I haven't. I tried. I actually bought a bottle when I got out. Not when I got out. Not too long ago. And I just haven't been drinking as much as I used to. I used to fucking.
No, I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same thing for you, but I can't do it without like some of the boys around. Like I can't really indulge in it the same way and have a good time. It's different. When the boys come out, some of the guys in the unit or whatever, it's a different story.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a different type of drinking. Dude.
Yeah.
That's not like, oh, let's have a few beers. That's like we're drinking all night. Like that's we're drinking and we're just talking shit, catching up on all the old shit, talking shit about the old times. Like that's like a whole different level of hanging out. Like I had a buddy of mine fly out here, same dude, parody. He flew out here and I had to work the next day and I was like, I'm fucking drinking. Like I'm still gonna drink. Like I'm gonna drink a lot too. And stupid idea, but I was with my fucking Marine Corps buddy, dude. Like I was like,
my wife knows same thing. She's like, God damn it, your friends are gonna come. I already know what's gonna be like. You guys are gonna try something stupid. And it's like, yep.
Yep, that's exactly what's gonna happen. It ain't gonna go no other way.
But I swear, man, I don't know what it is about, and it's not. It is just the Marines, but we get out and we're like, dude, I'm 20 years older than what I should be.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Shit. It definitely, my body definitely took a beating during my time in. It was rough, but I gotta still try those disability claims.
Yeah. That's another thing for everybody who's listening. Definitely do that stuff.
Do it. Go to the BAS. Fuck it. Who cares? Go.
BAS, and if you're out, don't give up because there's a lot of dudes that were like, I just didn't file and I just can't now. I'm like, no, you should do it still.
Yeah, you could still do it. It's just gonna be a little bit more of a fight, but it's already a fight as it is, so it doesn't.
But see, let me ask you this. So, no, different is different deployments that we had.
Mm-hmm.
You had a very more in a combat zone, more of the Marine Corps that everybody else would think. Like when I tell people I was in the Marines, they're like, "Oh, did you go to Afghanistan, Iraq?" I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah.
But when you filed your claims or are filing your claims, do you feel like you don't deserve it?
Oh, dude.
Because you
dude, don't even get me started.
You weren't in the shit like of everybody else you've heard.
So that's yeah. Sometimes I do. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm only 10% right now, but because I haven't claimed more, and I should be claiming more. But look, and I'm not like encouraging fake shit or anything like that, like fake claims or anything like that. But like the U.S. military gets everything out of you, every single thing out of you. And don't get, I know it's a volunteer process, and I hope nobody's like, well, you volunteered, but it's
About to
like,
get it in the comments.
yeah, leave it down there, please. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share,
Harassed.
piss other people off. No, I'm just kidding. Um, I don't know, man. I don't think it's good to think about it where it's like I don't deserve it just because you weren't in this shit. Like if you still got, I think the Marine Corps affects everybody. Um, I think it affects everybody differently. I've seen it from people that have been on the podcast, um, and I try not to think about it where as it's like, oh, that guy's had it worse than I. Then why should I be feeling this way, or why should I claim it? Why am I thinking these thoughts, or like I shouldn't be feeling this way if I didn't deal with any sort of combat related things. But Marine Corps stress is a different sort of stress for sure.
So when I got out, I didn't get a job straight away. I just like went to school and I was like, I don't need a job right now. I'm just gonna focus on school. But
Mhm.
at a certain point, I started getting bored and I was like, I need to do something with my life.
Mhm.
That's just how I am. Maybe that's just how we were taught and all that. We got to be doing something.
Sure.
So I worked at AutoZone, and there was a staff sergeant there, or retired staff sergeant. And the funny thing, he was telling me, make sure you file for your benefits, make sure you use everything. He was just trying to tell me like that. But he was like, do you have PTSD? And I was like, no, I don't. He's like, yes, you do. And I was like, what are you talking about? I just told you I never deployed to a combat zone or anything like that. He's like, you going to the Marines gives you PTSD because you guys were put through so much retarded stuff, and it's different than the other branches. I didn't file for that because I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But
Well,
he went to a counselor, like a VA counselor,
mhm.
and they're the ones who told him that all Marines are fucked up. You're all fucked up,
Well,
whether you think you are or not.
it does something. I think I've said this before on a few other of my episodes. This combat journalist Sebastian Junger. Have you heard of this book? Have you heard of his book Tribe?
No.
Okay, so
Should I have heard of it?
I think you should look into it.
I will.
It's literally some of the things that we deal with now, especially being Marines or just military veterans in general. Um, Except I'm explaining it a little bit differently. I think the Marine Corps does a very good job at making you feel that you're a part of this group, this tribe, right? Where you matter, where you play an important role, and then you get out, and then you go out into this very separated, non-cohesive unit, which we call society, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, what role do I play out here now? You're
Yeah.
like, where do I belong? Like, what team am I supposed to be in? Like, am I in this squad? Am I in this? At least that was my thing. And the dude was saying that he thinks we're calling it the wrong thing. He doesn't think it's because he was saying that through the years there has been a lot less casualties in war, and a lot less people going to war, um, but PTSD has gone through the roof. Um, PTSD has just increased, even though casualties have decreased. Excuse me. He calls it, or he called it, post alienation or post service alienation disorder, something along those lines.
I feel like that sound pretty good.
Which it makes sense because it's like you're so used to this tight knit group where you guys are all going through some sort of suck, whether it be your type of suck, my type of suck, somebody else's type of shitty situation, and then you get out where you're not in a place where you can depend on the people that you thought you could,
Yeah.
um, and then it just affects you incredibly,
And
mentally.
that's why I was saying, like, I don't know how often you get together with some of the guys that you've been with, but that is very important. And I never thought it would be that important until you're out and you don't see them every day, you
Yeah,
know? And
yeah.
then some of that stuff is important because with the whole 22 movement, the
Mm-hmm.
whole a lot more people, like you said, PTSD, suicides going through the roof, and it's not even the people that went to combat.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's some of the people who the peacetime I heard is like the worst time. It's literally the worst time.
Yeah, I think it's giving people the lack. It's not giving them the fulfillment the I don't know, the purpose. And I think that's what's lacking in just society in general. I think there's a lack of purpose or a lack of feeling like you're involved in some sort of community.
Yeah.
There's people who do involve themselves with other smaller groups with like movements or whatever, but I don't think there's anything like the military, which is very fucking weird and confusing to me, to be honest. I'm hoping to get an answer out of this whole thing because
I watch somebody's gonna post it in there.
yeah, because it's like I don't. I wish I knew what the Marine Corps caused or the military in general caused in your brain while you're in and going through all that, and then when you get out, how hard it is to get yourself back in the society where it's just kind of you.
But I think it really is a majority of the cases, the people I've talked to, friends, people I work with, they're all Marines. Like it's always a Marine thing. I work with a guy who's a retired Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
Dude's fine. Like yeah, he talks about sometimes he had a good time, but he's not like the other Marines that you talk about, where they still can't get it out. They still act the same way. They still respond the same way. Like
I think
even when I got out, even now, I get irritated at little things that I should not get irritated at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to like control myself too. I have to be like, it's okay, it's okay, relax. It's illegal.
So
Remember, don't talk to him like this.
exactly. So I get where the counselor was getting at, but yeah, I couldn't pull myself to put that on there.
Yeah, I just don't think it's PTSD. I think it's something else.
I think it's what that book was describing, like
The
a lot of that.
alienation disorder.
And then going back to again our deployment, which that's why it's a big difference, and I'm glad because I think a majority of the people you had on here have deployed to some kind of
I think a majority of them, but there's a few of them
majority.
that
I
have.
haven't seen all the videos, so I don't know, but
Mhm.
we went on deployment. Well, when I was with RD 211, they were all going on Muse. Some of them had got back from. You said Afghanistan, I think, right? Around 2013 when we were coming back.
Afghanistan for sure.
2014. So that was the last they were the last ones to go as our artillery unit to that type of environment. And after that, it was all these rotations to Muse, which are Marine Expeditionary Units, which are the ones that, for people who don't know, they get on ships and
Blues cruises,
sail, patrol. Yeah, they're pretty much just patrolling around whatever zone they're assigned to.
Mm-hmm.
So we were assigned to the 31st MU, and that's why you said the 15th MU. You were talking about that earlier.
Right.
Everybody wanted to go on that one. That was the one that hit all the cool spots, dude.
Oh.
We went to the 31st. Always went to Japan, Korea, Thailand, or in the summertime, I think it was Australia, Japan, and.
Where did you get to go?
So I went during the winter time. So we went to Japan, Korea, and then we had two ships. So with our artillery unit, you have artillery gun, and then you have the mortar side. They're still artilleries, but they're the bigger mortars.
Mm-hmm.
I can't speak too much on it because I wasn't with that part. I was with the artillery part, but they put us on the big Harrier or the big carrier, and the other ones got on the smaller ship. Yeah, it was cool. Ship life was cool, man.
That's so cool.
But so they went to Thailand and we went to Korea, but then they got lucky and they got to go to Korea too. So they hit everywhere. We just got to go to Korea and Japan.
Yeah. How was the MU, man? How was it?
Dude, it's like you said, it's a booze cruise.
That's what I heard.
It's different. If you don't like if you're not that person that likes to be confined, it's not a spot for you.
Oh, really?
Like, the bunks are really small. You're on the ship with these same people, like face to face all the time. And we weren't on there that long, but for some people, man, they're out there for months. I think we were only out there for a couple weeks.
Just sail into Japan?
Well, no. So when you go to the MU, we flew from that air base right there off of Paris, driving to California.
Is it March?
Yes. So we left on March. You leave in March, then you go to Japan. So you're on Japan.
Oh, you just fly to Japan?
You just fly to Japan, dude.
What the fuck?
So you fly to Japan, and you're there doing some other dumb shit. So you know how you
What's the MU for then? What's the fucking carrier for?
So you did your workups, to go Iraq, Afghanistan,
Yeah.
and then you went there, right?
Yeah.
So we did our workups to go to Japan, and then when we got to Japan, we did some more workups to get on the boat.
What?
So
Oh
we
wow.
went from Japan and left from Japan on the boat,
Mm-hmm.
did some exercises out sea, then docked over there in Korea, and then did some exercises there. Came back.
Did you fly back or did you come back on the ship?
On the ship is when we did all the Korea, Thailand, all those places. That's when we did it.
Oh, okay. And so you just sailed and then just came back.
Yeah. But
Nice.
no man, the ship was cool. Working out was cool. That's when I got big coming from there.
Dude,
Everybody was telling me, man, you
being
did deploy,
deployed
you
is
come back
great.
big.
Yeah. Being deployed is the time to just fucking work out, work out. That's
Yep.
the first time I started working out and I got big fast. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I was like,
But
yes.
that was but that's what I'm saying. It's different, man. We were out there for a different reason. Every time I heard we are doing something out there, it was gonna be humanitarian. We got trained on a lot of riot gear and
Hmm.
keeping the peace in case how to give out supplies if a natural disaster happens. That's what we were being trained to do.
And it's such a different side of it too. It's not.
And then so there was an incident, I guess at the time, 2015, Japan had like a hurricane or something that hit it,
Mm-hmm.
and we were again like how you talked about, we were slated to go do something, and then the Air Force took it, and
Really?
they just did their little drop stuff, and that was it.
Huh.
And it's like you get frustrated, we get trained for all this stuff, and then again you just don't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I wish the Marine Corps focused a little bit more on the aggressive side instead of like the bullshit side or like just especially being the Marine Corps, like that branch, I think I don't know. Like it might suck, but you could have a way better force, a way deadlier force. Um,
But it's just like I guess at during our time that we were in 2013 well, I got out at 17. Did you get out in 17 too?
yeah, I
You
got out
just
in
did
17.
before.
Yeah,
I guess during that time, man, we were, like I said, peacetime.
yeah,
They weren't sending as many. They were only sending you guys, really.
yeah,
What, 7 Marines, really?
yeah. 7th Marines was rotating out there. There was a few other units that were just attached, because it's this thing called a special purpose MACTF, where it's just
Yeah.
like the ground combat element, which was us. So we were in charge of all the anything that was combat related. We were in charge of all that, and then there was like logistics combat element, which they were in charge of obviously logistics. And
Hmm.
then what was the other one? I'm trying to remember what the other one was. Command combat element
Yeah,
or
it's
something
probably.
like that.
Yeah, I can see that commands.
Yeah, and it was basically like a few units here and there. It wasn't much. And then a little bit of the army. The army is always there. A little bit of the Air Force a little bit later, but it was for Operation Inherit Resolve. It was when I think Syria was collapsing
Hmm.
in 2015. I think it was.
See, that's what I was saying. Like you guys did more serious things. I'm not saying our stuff wasn't serious, but you guys were
I just think
You
ours
had
were
more of a courtesy.
the role of that unit. I think it was just that's what that unit does.
Mhm.
Um, which is that's what's weird about the Marine Corps. There isn't many units that actually do shit right now. There's not many units that are actually
That's what I was saying.
in an area where there's something that could potentially go wrong. Like they had
And
to evacuate the embassy in Syria, like
oh
destroy
yeah,
all their weapons, destroy everything in the embassy because the country had collapsed.
and
Um,
at the time, man, when we got on the ship going to Korea for the exercise, it was another time in the high tensions between North Korea and some crazy stuff. And I remember we were on the ship, and so on the ship, I mean, you're on the ship, dude. It's like a city.
yeah.
There isn't a lot of rules really still.
Hmm.
There's chow hour, there's chow hall times. They're
Hmm.
called the galley. You go down and get your food whenever. But other than that, man, you're either watching TV, reading books, learning, gymming, going whatever, McMapping. They had us McMap on the boat, dude.
Yeah, that
So
makes sense.
I got my green belt on the boat when it was like,
Nice.
but we're out in the smoke deck. I remember because somebody was saying, "Oh man, there's Russian boats following us."
Whoa.
Somebody had said that. Somebody had heard it. So we go out and we're looking. Sure enough, there's like some Russian boat with a. Well, they said it was a boat with an unknown flag. It wasn't
Hmm.
flying a flag, but it was a military, unit.
Military ship, yeah.
And somebody said, I don't know if it's a Navy guy or whoever verified, but it was like the Russians like following or something.
It's
And
crazy how much they harass U.S. ships, dude.
yeah,
It's insane.
so when we got to Korea, they told us a little bit like, hey, just in case, it looks like there could be some issues.
Yeah.
You may have, because they didn't want, I guess, us there doing a joint operations
Oh, like the
with
Russians
the.
didn't want us there doing operations with the.
Well, no, it was North Korea didn't want us
Oh,
there doing
yeah.
operations with the South Korean
Yeah, they don't like
Marines
it.
and stuff like that. So,
Hmm.
but every time the same thing. Like they hype you up, and you're like, I didn't get to do shit.
Yeah. Would you say that you were looking forward to it often? Like, were you looking forward to doing something on a bigger scale? I guess.
I think we all were, and I think that's why
Yeah.
you know the difference between the people who went, like I said, Afghanistan or Iraq. Um, the rest of us feel like we're not part of. We're what is it called? Vets with no war. That's what some of the friends and me were like, dude. We're veterans of no war. We did nothing.
Damn. How would you say that? How would you say that affects you guys? And maybe
I don't know how
makes you
much it
sort of
affects
feel.
the other guys. Well, I don't know how much it affects the other guys, but some of there's a couple of us who are like, it makes you feel like you don't deserve the stuff that you get now. Like you don't deserve the title of being a veteran. You don't deserve any of the other stuff because you didn't do anything. Like it makes you feel lesser, kind of in a way. At least that's how I feel sometimes. So
Right.
could just be
Well,
me,
I
but
don't think you should. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think you should, man. Very little people do their part. Very little people fucking even think about signing up. And when they do hear about you signing up, they're like, "Holy shit, you're crazy!" Especially in the Marine Corps. Um, I think we all do our own parts, whether it be stateside or another part of the world like you were at. That's literally what you guys are there for. If some shit goes down on that part of the world, you guys are there. Like
yeah,
like the shit that was going down with Benghazi. They had Marines there, but they just didn't choose to deploy
they
them
weren't authorized. Yeah,
because of some bullshit ass political goddamn decision. Um, but everybody's playing a role, whether it be CENTCOM, which is like the Middle East, which was my unit, Africon, or fucking I don't know what they call the Asian side. Um, but everybody does their own thing. Some people.
and yeah, and I get it. Everybody, like you said, it doesn't just we all make it all turn the gears turn and
It's a
all that,
whole
but
it's a whole thing that doesn't revolve without another.
I still feel like I missed out on opportunity on like that, or um yeah, just you get jealous sometimes. Like I had a guy, because I heard you guys talk about Leatherneck too last time, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, they sent some of us in my unit to go tear it down, to be a
Oh
part of the
really?
teardown. So they sent one arty battery, which was golf. I think it was golf. No, I think it was kilo. Damn, I'm gonna fuck it all up, and they're all gonna get pissed off at
Ah,
me.
no worries.
Anyways, I think it was might have been kilo,
Yeah.
echo, whatever. Anyways, you guys know who you are. They sent like one or two guns there, and they were asking us uh, for, I think they sent like one or two operators. So like I really wanted to go. Like I just like, damn, I finally get out there and do it. But I
Yeah.
was part of. Do you know what the EKMS is?
I don't.
So I don't remember what it stands for. I should, because I was there for fucking ever. But so the first like what 2 years, dude, I was in headquarters up to 11, like a headquarters element of it.
Really?
I didn't like we weren't deployable. I was just helping everybody else deploy pretty much.
Damn.
Do, doing like gear layouts. That was the most retarded thing ever too. Just that type of stuff. But
Yeah.
I ended up being, I don't know, like I guess I look smarter than the rest of the boots that came. So they put me in this cage, and it's where they hold all the crypto. It's where they hold all the radios and stuff. Like we don't just store the radios in like a fucking room and shut
No.
the door.
Yeah.
It's behind like two or three locks, and yeah. So that's what my job was. I had to count them. I had
Oof.
to make sure they were clean.
Mm-hmm.
We had the right crypto, everything like that,
Everything
paperwork,
was
all that bullshit.
working. Yeah.
So it's another thing that pissed me off about the Marine Corps is that if you do a really good job, you don't get rewarded most of the time.
Yeah.
And the people who are fucking off and being shitbags, they just want to get rid of the motherfuckers. So they send him out.
Yeah.
So that's what was happening. This guy who literally was a big shitbag in our shop,
Mm-hmm.
and they picked him to go, and I was like, "What? No, I want to go." And even the
Oh.
corporal who was going with him was like, "I don't want to take him. I want to take you." We went to my gunny, and my gunny's cool.
Yeah.
He'll probably see this too, and no hard feelings or what all that. But he said no. It's like, damn, why? And they're like, we just feel like we need you
We
here.
need you here. Yeah. Yeah.
So my
That'll
friend
happen.
ended up going. The shitbag didn't even end up going. He didn't even end up going. He got in trouble or
Really?
something, and they didn't even end up going. And I even
Wow.
asked him, I was like, he's not going. Let me go now. Nope,
Yeah.
won't send you.
Wow.
Wow.
Too valuable for stateside, man.
But yeah, my friend did go with them. They ended up sending a data dude, a computer dude, and he said it was chill out there. But it's Leatherneck, so he's like, we didn't do shit out there.
It's just what happens when the fobs are set up for a bit, then they just don't get as much attention. Obviously Jabber and Kuwait, nothing. Al Assad in Iraq, when it opened up, it was getting a bunch of heat,
Mm.
like a bunch of like indirect fire or whatever. And then by the next year, it was chilled out a lot. And then the next base was Altacadum TQ, which is where I got to go, which was a little bit further in. And they had just spread the perimeter a little bit longer, but it was still getting harassed by ISIS. The only reason I got to go to Iraq was because they needed another technician. Because one of my guys, one of my boots, was over there, and there was too many trucks for him, so they needed somebody else, and they
Mm-hmm.
ended up calling me from because I was in Jordan for the first month of that deployment. Like my last deployment, I was like, Jordan, I'm gonna be chilling. I'm just gonna be working. It's cool. It's very
I heard those
westernized.
guys. I heard
And
those
then
guys suck working with them.
I didn't. I just had to take care of some other things, logistics, not
Oh,
working with
okay.
them. They were the O3s were the infantry guys were training them, so I didn't have to partake too much. Driving in their area sucks so bad. But yeah, then they're like, hey Rubio, they're requesting you in Iraq because they need another tech, so you're leaving. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I'm trying to have a chilled last deployment. Come on. And they're like, I'm sorry, man. And they tried fighting for me to keep me there, but the battalion commander was like, nope, you're going to Iraq. And then it's a trip, dude. Like land, I don't know. It's intense. Like looking back at those experiences, it's cool. It's crazy. It's cool being
Yeah,
in, but
I
again,
wouldn't trade any of that stuff, man. Like,
but
like
again,
you
I didn't
probably.
even get to do as much as like we can go back to that same thing. Like I can compare it to
Oh, you same thing. You don't feel like you did as much then.
yeah, like I can compare it to people who did way more than I did. But it's not about that. At the end of the day, it's just about like that's what you got. That's it. Like
But it's different because you get looked at different.
I
Like I'm
understand.
not everybody. Like even when I talk to people out here, they're still cool, but at the same time they know like, oh, you didn't really do too much. Like okay, and even when you're
Hmm.
in the Marine Corps, like you may be a sergeant, you may be a corporal, but if you didn't deploy, then you're nothing still. And
It's
then
insane
and then
how
on top of
important.
that, if you didn't deploy to a certain spot,
Yeah.
you're still nothing.
Yeah.
And it just keeps going higher and higher and higher. And it's
That's
like, dude,
crazy how
it's
that
never
works,
gonna
right?
be the end. Yeah.
That's crazy how that works because it really just depends what's on here. And people treat you so differently. People treat
Hmm.
you like even people in the military. Like when we were in Iraq, and they would see like a few of us come into a room or whatever, they'd be like war dogs, they'd be like, what's up? And they would treat their guys like shit, but they'd be super like relaxed and chill with us. And it's like, what the fuck? And we'd see them be assholes to like their guys just because we've deployed like a few times. And it's so crazy how different it makes higher leadership. Once it gets to like a certain officer rank though, they don't give a fuck. Like officers don't give a shit. Enlisted care more about officers might care a little bit. Not as much as it is on the enlisted side, I think. Because the enlisted side, it's all about the chest candy and a little bit about the rank. It's a very different thing. It's
But it definitely got stupid. You know, some people would come back, and like I said, we didn't even do combat deployments. You know, in our unit, we did just Muse, and even then they'd come back like, oh, I've been 2 Muse, and you haven't done shit. And
I
it's
was
like
gonna ask.
I got promoted as a corporal, and I still haven't gotten on anything, dude. I was nothing still. I was still in headquarters. Like I said, for the first 2.5 years, I was just there in headquarters in the same unit. You know, that's why I was saying, like, I feel like everybody goes through everybody's unit is just shit to them in their head.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anybody say that. Besides wing units, I think wing units the only ones that have good times. I don't know what it is,
Wing
but they
units are
have good
pretty
times.
great. There's
Or
like dumb.
sebs.
Yeah, there's like dumb drama, like dumb, just like little drama, like dumb bullshit ass drama. But it's you get like duty recovery. So like
Yeah.
if you have duty, you get to be off the next day, which was I was like, this is amazing. I was like, yeah, if I have duty on Thursday, I'm off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You're goddamn right, I'm gonna have duty. Like
It's insane, man.
yeah, and then my world got flipped upside down, and they were like
When you
infantry
went to the seven.
battalion, bitch.
Yep. And like, you know, when Artie's not infantry, but they're pretty close to being crazy, you know.
Don't say that. They're gonna be upset.
Oh, who?
The
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 infantry guys?
the arty guys.
Nah, they know. They know.
Are you
They know
sure?
that infantry needs. First of all, infantry always says like, "Oh, we don't need no MO. You don't need
They need
nobody else."
everybody.
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
do need everybody
Yeah.
else. You can't do everything yourself.
No, I get it. I know.
But no, the gun bunnies, which that's their nickname,
Gun bunnies.
artillery. They called them gun bunnies. They had all kinds of weird names: gun bunnies, gun rocks. Just they're crazy. But when they say party with Artie, it was always definitely a party with them.
They were just fucking drinking all the time and shit.
Dude, they're crazy too. And like I was like, so when I got to the fleet, like I wanted to stay in headquarters in the beginning because, like I said, I wasn't confident. I was like, damn, I don't want to go with these crazy motherfuckers. They said they beating on each other,
Yeah.
you know, beating up the boots and stuff. They really
Yeah.
harassed them. Then when I finally went with them, I'm like, damn, this is the best time of my life. Everybody, it's chill, man.
How long did it take for you to get to arty, or like to that
Um,
side of that unit?
So the first 3 years, like I said, first 3 years, three, maybe 2.5. I was with headquarters. I really worked up in the headquarters element. Like
Damn.
I really liked my job.
Mhm.
I know a lot of people probably don't say that, but I liked being a radio operator. I liked fixing the stuff. I liked setting the stuff up. I liked troubleshooting it. As much as it sucked being in the field, the feeling of you knowing you're the one who are making everybody talk
Yeah.
or fixing it, it was cool.
Yeah.
So I got really good, and that was another reason why, like I said, the command didn't want to get rid of me. They saw that I was really good at doing the EKMS stuff.
Yeah.
I had a mentor, and he was one of my corporals. Best dude ever. And even to this day, like if it wasn't for the way he pushed me, I wouldn't be as good as I was in that field, and then I wouldn't be as good as I am now in the new field I am. Because right now I work for a telecommunications company out here in the civilian world, working with the same stuff. So
Nice, dude.
but yeah, so finally that mass sergeant, he's like, hey, I'm sending you to one of the batteries. You want to go, right? You're finally getting out. And I was like, yep, send me out.
Let's do it.
So
Yeah.
but it was definitely a bittersweet thing, you know. Like I grew up with all these guys who we all came in as, you know, PFCs, lance corporals, and then
Yeah.
like I'm leaving them. So
Did
but
you
it was fun.
enjoy
I
it
was
better?
glad.
Did you enjoy it way more though, being on the other side?
Yes, because they didn't do as much dumb stuff. And I
Yeah.
know Marine Corps still does dumb stuff, but like the
Sure.
formations were just like show up, get the formation count, be out. It wasn't all this other crazy stuff that headquarter units do. Like they do all this. They don't just have one unit. They have, you know, admin. They have logistics. They have
Right.
everybody's got to follow in, and everybody's got to get their report. And if this part isn't done, then everybody's staying to help them.
Yeah.
It happened like that a little bit for the battery level, but at the same time, once you were done, you were done. You know.
That's kind of how infantry operates, man. If they're not in the field, they're in the barracks, and if they're not in the barracks, they're training. You know, like
Yeah.
But they operate out of the barracks. So whenever they're standing by in the barracks. Like when we're standing by in the shop. You know, we don't get to go to the room until the
Oh
day's
no.
over.
I remember our Motor T guys worked a lot.
Motor T
Like,
gets fucking wrecked. It's absurd how many hours
and
they get.
there is no, like, nobody can compare that. R2 MOSs get wrecked every
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. Our climb guys would get fucked too.
Everything, dude.
Yeah,
I got blamed for everything. A printer one time didn't work or something, and I'm like, I don't fix printers.
yeah,
And they're like, I don't give a, isn't it calm? And I was like, I don't fix printers.
yeah. I'm not a fucking printer technician, bro. Call
Dude,
HP customer service.
I it the difference too between going to the field in a headquarters unit and then going to the field with like a actual battery level or battalion level, oh not battalion, I'm sorry, company level. That's what it's comparable to. A company and a battery. That's what that kind of is.
Hmm.
So when I went as a headquarters unit, we had to set up like a lot of stuff. You know,
Mhm.
it was very static at one point. We're setting up like 10 fucking antennas at one time. We're setting up all kinds of shit. We got 5, 10 trucks everywhere, big tents.
Jesus. Yeah.
And I remember when we got there, I guess there wasn't a lot of boots dropped or whatever, because they only kept 2 of us at headquarters and they sent all the other boots to all the little units. So it was
Hmm.
me and another dude, and they had a forward and a main when you go out. So it's like Advon, right?
Yeah.
So
Advanced
we send the
bargain.
yeah, you send the Advon out, set it up, and then when we get out there, they tear it all down. Well, you have me, a Lance Corporal, yeah, Lance Corporal, and they made me do everything.
Jeez.
Because at that time, you know, corporals they didn't. There's
No,
that too. That corporals don't like to do stuff. If
they don't.
they don't.
They don't do it. There's
I remember I
those.
got ran through the dirt.
Yeah. There's those rare ones that want to, but there's not many of them.
I
Yeah,
got my
have the boots do it.
exactly. I
Yeah.
got my call sign from that shit too.
Oh really?
So my Discord name, that's
Yeah.
my call sign.
Oh really?
So it's funny because like I had, like I said, my mentor, he was a Corporal Santos, and
Yeah.
dude was fucking smart. But I would just always be, you know, engaged doing stuff, and then in the middle of the night, like they'd be like, all right, you know, go get fucking Perez to do this shit, and I'd be like, I'm here, Corporal. He's like, whoa, what the
What
like.
the fuck? Yeah.
He used to say, you dirty sneaky ferret, like you just show up, and I'd be dirty because I'm like working, dude. I'm
Working.
putting up antennas, I'm taking antennas down, throwing shit in the truck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the call sign is sneaky ferret now.
Sneaky
Took
ferret.
off the dirty because I'm not dirty.
Yeah. Not anymore, right? Oh shit.
When you go to the other unit, it was different, man. You show up, you only put like 1 or 2 up, and then that was it. It wasn't like a crazy amount of stuff
Oh
anymore.
really? When you were in the on the battery side, you mean?
Yeah, when you're in the battery side, you know, because
Mm.
the battery's got like 3 or 4. Well, we had it. I think it was 3 or 4 guns. You know, they set up the guns. You got a guy who's running wire to them,
Yeah.
and then you set up 1 or 2 antennas, and you guys are sitting in your truck, really.
Just chilling, watching them shoot, watching them do fire missions.
I remember I seen the grunts guys over in Korea, fucking hiking everywhere, and I was like, good thing I didn't go with them.
Oh really? They were hiking everywhere.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's what happens when you go to like a training area. You know, that's what they got you doing. Fucking training. You're gonna be training with the Korean Marines.
They're cool, man.
Are they?
Yeah, it sucks that you didn't. That's like, you know, you didn't get to experience that, and I guess I'm kind of lucky to experience it. But they're cool.
Yeah, that would have been sick. That would have been sick. That would
They're
have been
crazy though, man. We went out there in the middle of winter, and I'm fucking freezing my ass off. They give us like the big I forget what they're called, but like these big jacket things that you
happy
get.
suits.
Yeah, there you go, happy suits.
Hey,
So
I
we got the
still have
happy
mine.
suits. You stole
Fuck
it?
you.
Oh my god.
Hey, it's
But
what is it? What is it? A Marine doesn't steal. They
technically acquire.
there you go.
Like what is it? Gear Adrift is
It's a gift.
is a gift. There you go. My god. So a happy suit, because I don't know.
They're
I don't know if
awesome.
everybody else are gonna know, but it's pretty much you just got this big.
Big suit.
Mine was orange. I don't know if yours was orange.
It's
but...
like Coyote Tan.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's Coyote 10.
Yeah.
It's just one big, and it's got such like an insulin in it.
It's so warm.
So we had those on, and these dudes, man, they were in flip flops, tank tops, and shorts.
Jeez.
These Korean Marines, they're just laughing at us, kind of in a sense.
Wow. They're used to it, dude. That's why.
Yeah, they were just like, damn, what are you guys doing?
They're like, this ain't shit. You guys are
But
wearing
they were-
your coyote beanies, your fucking.
Oh, I was everything. I put
Happy,
everything.
yeah, happy suits. They got
Dude, we
like
slept in
booties too.
tents. Yeah, but I didn't put those on, did I? No, it wouldn't. It didn't make my boots fit right or something.
Yeah, they're weird.
But we slept in tents,
Oh,
and
really?
in the morning, man, those tents were so they were ice shut.
Oh
So when
shit.
we zipped them up, we had to like figure out a way to like get it warmed
Break it
up to
all
zip it
off.
down, man.
Fucking frozen. That's so cool. I wish I would have gone somewhere nice or nicer. Um, that's kind of the crappy part. Like I hear army guys go to Germany and shit. Like it would have been cool to go to
Yeah.
somewhere. We stopped by on Germany and got fucked up on the way back home. But
Dude, my friend went to China on one of their
what?
rotations. I know. I went to China, and the other friend went to Australia. Like I
That's
missed
so
that one. I
cool.
didn't get to go to that one, but yeah, they good times, man.
Yeah, some people. I mean, that's what I heard. That some people would join just to go see the world. You know.
That was one other reason why I joined. I wanted to see the world.
Oh, really? And, well, I mean, you
I mean,
did,
I did
dude. I
kind of
mean,
in a way, yeah.
shit.
I wanted to see the world though, and do cool things. And let's be real, I wanted to shoot bad guys.
Yeah. I mean, you got to
I
see some
wanted to
cool
feel
things,
like,
right?
yeah,
You got to do some cool things. Got to
I
fucking.
did. I got to fly in those dumbass ospreys.
I didn't, thankfully.
Yeah, you
Jesus.
didn't miss out, man.
I've heard. I've heard a lot of
We
things about those
when
Widowmakers.
we're on yeah when we're on the ship, man. We did an exercise where we flew off the ship in one, landed back in Japan, and did like if we're doing an embassy thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an embassy drill,
Like an
and then
extraction or something.
we were dropped in like as in we're reinforcing the embassy.
Oh, cool, cool.
So we dropped in from the Ospreys, offloaded, hiked to like this little building that was supposed to be set up for it. Did our little operation, hiked back to the. It was like
Pick up
two or three
stuff.
days. Yeah, 2 or 3 days are there. Hiked back to the Ospreys, get on the Ospreys again, go land on the ship now while it's in water.
Whoa. How was that?
Thankfully, I left that night to go to Japan, and we came down back during the day. So it was cool, man. A lot of the guys, I remember this guy was sitting next to my staff sergeant, and as soon as we got off the fucking the ship, turned next to him and just threw up all over him.
I heard people
And
throw up on Ospreys.
he had to sit in that throw up the whole way there. And I don't remember how long it was, but that
Oh,
staff sergeant was covered in it.
no. I'd be so angry. Don't
It
they
was
have throw
cool.
up bags in there?
So this is another thing. I don't know if you've seen that article about one of the Ospreys going down,
Recently?
and
Because they always go down.
it was maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 2 years.
The one
But it
where
was
the
a
dude
big
jumped off the osprey into the water and the osprey picked back up.
no,
No,
I
okay.
think so.
Are you sure?
So what happened is, so when we got on there, they gave us all this riot gear and shit, right? So you're loaded up with not only your big pack of stuff, you
Sure.
get riot gear, and then they put like a vest on you that has an inflatable vest and oxygen tank.
Hmm.
So then they cram all of us in there, and then on top of that, you crammed in there. Then they stick all the riot shields in there.
Wow.
So we were so close together, we couldn't even put our seatbelts on.
Wow.
So we were flying with no seatbelts on and crammed in that fucking thing. So luckily for mine, we came back fine. But
Marine
my
Corps
friend,
efficiency.
dude, my friend did the same thing, in another uh, deployment right after I left, and same thing, same exercise. They left, came back, but on the way back, they tipped. So when it came down to land on the ship,
Yeah.
it missed or something, and the wing hit the ship, and it just flopped right into the water. They
Wow.
crashed in the water.
Wow.
So, and the same thing, they're packed the same exact way. Nobody was able to put their seatbelts on correctly. There was too much gear in there.
Yeah.
So it was like really hard for them to get out when they were there. And my friend said that shit sank really fast.
Did they get
Like
out?
everybody got out except the pilot died, the
Wow.
A gunner dude died, and literally a boot that just came in to Artie passed away.
Wow.
Like I might have met him literally before because I remember I seen all the new guys coming in and I was checking myself out and he didn't make it.
Did he just stay stuck in the osprey or something?
Um, I don't remember what it was. Maybe he died on impact or something. But a lot of
Oh
people he was
shit.
saying that they couldn't get out properly because there was too much shit in there.
Wow.
So my friend was like telling me like he was going to hit the door open and it was hard because it was like stuck. So he got out, but they were taking in all that, like the fuel too.
Whoa. Do you know if they got training for like rollovers or osprey? You know how
So
we have our Mat V or Humpy rollover training?
we do get training. So we do get training, and that's another thing that kind of like you do get training, and they put you. You never seen it, like where they put you in
I've
like a
never
big
seen.
helicopter thing.
Oh, in the water, in the pool.
Yeah, yeah. That is the training to get out. That's the training of if this situation
Did
happens.
you guys get that?
We did.
Oh,
But
that's
here's
so
the thing.
cool. Fuck.
I got there and I was gonna do the training, but you have to get this like this vaccination for to go to overseas to Japan, and it's like
Oh,
some hepatitis thing or some shit like
sure.
that. You can't go in the pool or get it wet unless it's fully dried or healed. And so me and like three other guys, it wasn't fully healed, so we didn't get the training. So we got there, left, and we didn't get the training. And there wasn't like I guess there wasn't enough time to go back and do it. So I went over there with no training. So if it happened to me, I don't know what I would have done.
Whoa, dude.
So that's why that article came out, and they're saying they're blaming the Marines of that battery. Like you guys were ill efficient, you weren't trained enough, like you didn't know what you were doing, type thing. And that's not the case. It's just like the leadership packed everything into that,
Well, it's
like
their fucking
unsafely,
fault.
man.
It's 100%
Yeah.
their fault. We do
So
that with 7 tons, right? You can ask any fucking infantryman. They fucking fill 7 tons up. It's like full of Marines and full of fucking main packs, just loaded with main packs in the middle. So they can't. It's just slammed sardines in that motherfucker.
yeah,
So if a 7 ton flips, which one of them flipped in Pendleton, wasn't ours.
they did.
But I
Yeah,
remember I
I
was
remember
on
they come back from
Pendleton.
the range.
Yeah, it was. I was on Pendleton when that happened, and we were driving seven. I wasn't supposed to be driving a 7 ton, but we were driving. Yeah, we were driving 7 tons on Pendleton. I wasn't supposed to be because I didn't have a license for it. But our gunny wanted us to. We needed to return them because we borrowed them for a field up, and we I think I refused. Once we got there, I was like, I'm not gonna do that, Gunny. I don't have a license. A fucking 7 ton just flipped over, and I don't drive on these small roads in Pendleton. And this other dude ended up doing it, but he didn't have a license either.
So I'm
So
saying like there's those things that you get pushed into doing, and sometimes like I get it, it's mission critical, but other times like
it's
it's
stupid.
not, it's not worth the risk.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, that's what happened, and yeah, it's definitely
that's
fucked
crazy.
my friend up a lot. Like he won't fly. He already had a problem with airplanes, but now he's deaf, fucked
I
up.
can't even imagine going through that situation, dude. I can't even imagine being in
And
an osprey that flips into the ocean, bruh.
it's just crazy because like if I didn't get out, I would have requested to go, back to go one more deployment because I wanted to go to Australia, and that's where they went.
Yeah,
It could have literally been me
it could have literally been you. Yeah.
because two of my friends they were there, and he said like at one point my friend was like, "This is it," and he was like, "Nah, we're not. Nah." He's like, "Open the door." He's like, "We're not dying. Get the
He's
fuck
like, we're
out."
not fucking dying. Get out. Open the door.
It's just crazy. Like
Jesus.
people, like Marines aren't really dying. Like you said, they're not dying overseas these days. They're dying in
Training,
training. They're
training
dying in
all the
at
time.
home.
Very,
It's insane.
or after getting out, one of those. It's never really. I don't think it's as often overseas.
I had to save a guy on duty.
No shit, really.
So on duty, that's another terrible time too for me. So standing duty, I was A duty, or
Mm-hmm.
not A duty. I was a duty. I was an NCO and I
Mm-hmm.
had A duty. And there was a guy that's been fucking up or whatever, so he was restricted to his room, blah blah blah.
Sure.
But we had to go check on him every once in a while. So my A duty goes, he checks on him. He's like, comes back. He's like, Corporal, he's not answering, and I hear weird sounds in there. And so we had the door, and then you have like a little window on the top. I don't know if you've seen some of the Pendleton spots, but it's like a metal door and like a little window on the top to see.
Okay.
So I say, just get up there and see what you can see. And he's like, I can't see anything. I just see lights. Like, I don't know. I just hear weird gurgling noises and shit. And I'm like,
Whoa.
fuck, I don't know what we're doing. So I go to, so we have like the company office,
You
and
don't
we
have the
have
room keys?
no, it's not us. So there's like a main headquarters spot that has like a staff NCO and an officer on duty, and then we take care of the barracks parts, but they take care of like the whole whatever.
But they don't
So
have room keys. Yeah, I mean, you don't
but
have room
they
keys.
We don't, but they do.
What the fuck?
So I told my AD, I'm like, hey, go get the staff duty on deck and tell him that, you know, there's something going on with this guy.
Yeah.
So we get back and the guy opens the door, and sure enough, dude, this dude's sitting in the chair, looking at his TV. I shit you not, with his hand in his pants, just like gone. And
What?
so my staff sergeant thought he was drunk or whatever, you know. So he goes on and was like, "Hey, motherfucker, wake up, stupid! Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
Did not wake up. So I guess the dude must have took pills or whatever,
Must have.
or he did some weird shit.
Yeah.
So then he's like, "Oh fuck, we gotta do CPR, blah blah blah." So he puts him on the floor. He's doing all CPR shit. Dude was just not responding. Someone called. I think the A duty called, 911 or whoever was on base to come.
PMO or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. So eventually they did come, and yeah, the dude was like literally about to die or whatever.
Wow. Did you
But
ever
so
find out what it was?
I think he did take too many pills. I think he was just mentally like that. Like I think he was getting NJP'd or something, and he just didn't want to be in their core anymore, you know.
Wow. It's
And
crazy how the extent that some people will go to get out.
oh yeah, so that happened, and I remember. So you're supposed to tell your first sergeant though, like, hey, there's something going on, you know, like when something's happening.
Yeah.
And so the staff duty on duty was my staff sergeant at my actual shop. So I figured, all right, he's gonna tell our first sergeant. You know,
Of
why
course.
wouldn't he?
Yeah.
So this our first sergeant comes and he's fucking mad, bro. Like he's literally red as fuck, and he just grabs me and just pulls my ass to the side. And he's like, "Why the fuck didn't you call me? What the fuck is going on? Why do I gotta learn from
Base
the
sergeant major
CO
or
or the
something.
colonel? Yeah, whoever
Yeah.
higher that one of my Marines is dying or whatever, and I don't know what the fuck's going on. You make me look like I don't know what the fuck's going on." And he's like, "Why didn't you call me?" And I was trying to explain to him. He's like, "Just, I probably called me. Probably you're a dumbass. You didn't call me. That's why you didn't call me."
Yeah.
But in the heat of the moment, bro, I don't know. I figured he was gonna call you.
You
He
would
was like,
think.
it was during Christmas time. He's like, "You got Christmas vacation?" "No, you don't. Now you don't. You're staying your ass
No.
fucking here. You're doing all kinds of dumb shit." And he's just fucking eating me up.
No way. He told you that?
He was just pissed, bro. I
Wow.
was
Did
like,
he end up fucking with your leave?
fuck. Well, so the officer on duty was like, "No, Marine, you did everything right. Like, I'm gonna go to bat for you." And this is the four times that leadership will have your back. And so between him and my mass sergeant, they
Yeah.
both went up to him and were like, "You're not gonna cancel his leave. Like, he did everything right."
Yeah.
Should I have done it? Probably, but I didn't end up getting canceled. But he was pissed still. He was super pissed.
Why would
He
your
was
shit?
just
There's no point in your shit getting canceled. It's like
It's just the same thing, man. He's gotten eaten up by his boss, so he's like, shit rolls downhill, man.
it doesn't
If
though.
I'm getting fucked with, you're getting fucked with.
Did you hear about the 2-7 thing? How all their Christmas leave got canceled, and then the internet.
That's what reminded me of it. I heard about that.
Yeah, dude, that's what's insane. That's not the first time 2-7 pulls anything like that though. It's been like 2-7 had at one point. 2-7 had 6 people per floor on duty. 6 Marines per floor. Throughout the whole day. He would have one rover in each corner of the barracks. We had outdoor barracks, with catwalks and shit. And so he would.
Oh, we did too.
Yeah, he would have one Marine on each corner, and they would rover into the middle of the hallway and then back. And one duty NCO, a duty in every floor, because somebody stole a TV or something. And
We had that like that too, except no rovers.
Oh really? No rovers.
So every floor had a duty NCO and NCO, but no
every
rovers.
floor. Wow.
Because they were split up. So the floors split the batteries up. So if you
Okay.
were third floor, you were probably Echo Battery or whatever. So that's how they did that.
Is that a different platoon though? Not a different company or anything like that, or what is it?
Battery, so think company. So yeah, it was a
Okay.
different company per whatever. But the whole thing was 211. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole
Mm-hmm.
unit was
Mm-hmm.
211. Yeah.
That's
So
crazy how they had that many duties. Unnecessary.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
So what would you say was that encouraged you to get out of the Marine Corps and not continue your career in it?
so like I said, I mean, I was really good at my job, and
Yeah.
I'm not here to stroke it, but I
Sure.
was. But what really got me is, and I know I shouldn't have let it get me because that's what everybody said is don't let the unit, they used to tell me like when you
Yeah.
get to 211, don't let 211 take your soul pretty much. Like you're not going to be here forever. Don't make it feel like this is all you're going to be and do. And
Yeah.
at point, like, I'm like, cool, my reenlistment's coming up. I'm going to try to go somewhere else. So I go to my people and they were like, set me all up. This dude even signed like the agree. He crossed out the I'm not signing up part. There's like part where you like I'm not gonna sign up or reenlist.
Really?
When you can show you a paper and it's like you signed the I'm reenlisting part or denying that you're reenlisting.
I guess
Anyway,
yeah.
anyways, the dude crossed the denied part out.
Oh,
He
really?
already thought I was gonna reenlist. He's
Yeah.
like, on paper, why wouldn't you reenlist? And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I want to go. Can I go to Hawaii? He's like, no. Okay, well, can I go to Japan? No. And I was like, all right, where can I go then? He's like, well, we got you set up to stay here for, I don't know, like another year or two or blah blah
We've
blah.
got
I'm
you
like, dude,
set
I
up to stay here, he said.
like this, like pretty much this is the only thing you're gonna get right now that's available is that you have to stay here,
That's a
and then
lie.
we'll figure it out later. We'll figure it out later. And
Yeah.
I'm like, no, dude, I've been here my whole entire career and I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
So he didn't have anything for me. So I was like, all right, well then I don't want to do it anymore. And then that was one of the things really. But
Yeah.
the other big thing was when my last deployment, I went to ITX. Well, not deployment, I'm sorry. The last field op was the
Mm-hmm.
ITX. We were out there for like what, a month and a half or something.
29 Palms?
Yeah. So we're
It's
out there for
always
like a
great.
month and a half, and dude, they sent me and I was like checking out and everything. I had like what, like 2 months left or something. It seemed like
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even done with my checking out, and they're like, here, you're gonna go on this last field op.
Oh,
Whatever, dude.
wow.
No big deal. Like, all right, I know what I'm doing, this and that. So at this point, I'm a comm chief and I'm in charge of but like the battery communications. I'm running, with the what, like 6 guys or whatever.
Yeah.
So I have 3 sergeants now with me. I'm a sergeant, and I have two of them that have been in for about 14 years, right? So you would think these dudes know how to be.
Yeah.
So I assign one of the sergeants to do checking out the radios with another sergeant. So all they're doing is making sure that the radios are getting checked out and the right paperwork is being filled out.
Right.
Whatever. So we go through the month, blah blah blah. Literally our last emplacement, picking everything up to go pack it up and leave the fucking area of operation. We're off count. We don't have a radio. Yeah. God, really? Right now?
As we're fucking leaving?
But at the time, I was like, whatever, dude. Just recount.
Yeah.
It's somewhere. I'm telling you, it's somewhere.
Yeah.
So they're doing it. Like probably an hour goes by, and they're like, we can't find this radio. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So then the CEO comes over the radio, and he's like, Perez, come to I forgot what it's called. Come to the CP or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, shit. So I'm walking over. You got the 2 officers, the platoon commander, and the fucking other dude, the captain, 2 lieutenants, and a staff sergeant. And they're like, so you lost the radio? And I was like, no, we haven't finished our counts yet. And he was like, well, I know you don't know where it's at because I have it. And it's not, so I know it sounds like that, but it's not that. It's just the fact that, so he had brought his radio in when we came back to like whatever that camp was for
Mm-hmm.
cleaning and shit one time, and he said it didn't work. So the sergeants who were in charge of it were supposed to swap that out, and you're supposed to write the new one in, right?
Gotcha.
They didn't fucking give him the right radio that he had on his paperwork, so it looked like
Mm.
we lost that one.
Yeah, they fucked it up.
So they fucked it up,
Yep.
and so they were just like, "Oh, this already happened once before," and this is another thing. So, sidetrack. I'm sorry, but
No worries.
it's a different field op we had. One of the officers, okay, one of the officers lost his radio, and he knows who he is. So if he sees it, you did it. He lost his radio, and he came to me on the side, and he was like, "Hey Perez, I can't find this radio.
Oh,
Can you
shit.
guys check to see if you had it? Maybe I turned it in on accident or something." And I was like, "All right, sir, no big deal. Like we'll figure it out on the hush hush." So we ended up finding it, dude. Like he left it in the trailer. Like it was in the weirdest random spot. And I had all my little Marines running around. Everybody's checking shit. So
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, here you go. Here it is. Nobody knows. So one of the ammo guys had to go and leave and dump shit or whatever. And
Sure.
his radio was dying. So I gave him my radio. Well, he gave my radio to somebody else. So when we
Oh
did the
no.
counts, nobody knew where that fucking radio was again. Because they were not supposed to trade radios and they did. So they were already pissed off about that. So then we go to ITX. He was like,
That shit happens.
then he's like, you clearly don't know what you're blah blah blah. And I was like, so they fired me. They're like, you're fired that day. And I was
Wow.
like, whatever, I'm getting out anyways. I don't care now. It's
Yeah.
even more of a reason why I don't want to stay in.
And by your fired
And
people, you can't get fired in the Marine Corps. He lost like the billet, the title that he was holding
yeah,
is what it is.
so I'm no longer manager, but I work there.
There you go.
But um, so they were like, the staff sergeant at the time was like, and we're giving, the sergeant who was literally in charge of writing them up, he's gonna be the guy in charge now.
Nice.
And I'm like,
He fucked up.
bro, and this guy's been in for at least 14 plus years. Like, it just that's the shit that frustrated me, was that
Yeah.
he couldn't even do that right. And then you fired me, which it wasn't my fault anyway. I knew it was here. I knew we didn't lose it. And then
Yeah.
you gave it to the same guy anyways. So it's just one of those little things. But when I got back to, the dude called me, the lieutenant called me back from leave and was like, dude, the battery can't leave. I need you to come sign this paperwork you're getting for that. And I'm like, what? Are you serious?
Wow, you got some paperwork for that, huh?
Yep.
What'd you get for that? Like a
Like a
6105 or whatever the fuck it's called?
nah, it wasn't even that. It was
A counseling?
like a non-punitive fucking thing that pretty much I'm admitting guilt or whatever.
Okay. That's
I have
weird.
it still. I have it. I have it because
Really?
I look at it. I'm like,
I didn't get my good cookie either, but mine was dumb.
I mean, I got mine. It
I
wasn't. It
didn't.
didn't. But you got fucked up. You did something bad.
Yeah, I did something not good.
Uh,
Whatever. It is what it is.
but that's the type of shit that kind of pushed me out. And
Yeah.
it's just I was having issues with a staff sergeant at the time too, because
It's
when I was putting that billet, it's a staff sergeant billet.
sure.
And I wasn't getting treated that way. I was a sergeant, and I was getting I was getting shut down by the other staff sergeants in their
Yeah.
section billets, and they were like, I wasn't getting the same respect, but I was expecting to do the same amount of work.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a big ol' like pride and rank, and they don't they could make it easier on the people who are doing most of the heavy work, but they choose not to. I think they just choose to make it more difficult and a little bit more miserable, to be
So when
honest.
you guys had to get your license for driving, you guys had to do like a night course, hours or
I didn't
a
have
certain
to
amount
do
of
a night
hours
course, but I had to do a certain amount of hours.
at night though, right? At night.
Nope.
No, you okay?
Mm-mm.
So whatever reason, our motor T people were like, you got to do a certain amount of hours at night. You got to do a certain amount of hours during the day, off-roading versus on regular street.
Wow. No, but that's
Anyway,
cool because that's better. It
so what it
sucks,
was,
but it's better.
it is better because
Yeah.
everybody, at least a little bit more trained.
Hmm.
But so I had to get the people had to get recertified or whatever, and dude, we've been working from 6 to like fucking 5 already,
Yeah.
and my staff sergeant was like, they gotta come back, or we gotta come back and do this shit at night anyways to go drive. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna send them home so they can go eat with eat dinner with their wives at least, or whatever. They've been at work all day.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, don't send them home. Why do they gotta go home? They can't wait like fucking a couple hours to go home. And I'm like, staff sergeant, it's gonna be all night. It's literally gonna go into the next day.
Yeah.
And he was just like not having it. Big old fucking argument pretty much on the phone. And I told him straight up, I was like, if I wasn't a sergeant, you wouldn't be talking to me like this.
Yeah.
Like it would be a done deal. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fucked up that I got treated this way.
Yeah.
And I think I might have hung up on him. I don't remember.
What did he say? Do you know if he said anything to you later?
Dude, the next day we were at formation. He pulled me aside. He's like, I don't appreciate you talking to me like that. I'm still a staff sergeant and you're a sergeant. Blah blah blah. And I was like, I just took it. It's like one of those things. It just kept leading up more and more. And this is towards the end again. So I'm like,
Yeah.
why am I here? This is stupid.
Yeah, it's very hard to shake off that bad taste that some of the terrible leadership leaves in your mouth, and or those types of experiences that the fucking Marine Corps does, and you're just like, man, this kind of fucking sucks. Like, I don't know if I really want to be, a part of this thing anymore. And I mean, I know for me, I was very unsure about it for a while, and I just kept on seeing people getting fucked over consistently,
Hmm.
and I didn't want to roll the dice and potentially fall into another unit that had terrible leadership, because I knew that was
Yeah.
probably going to be the case.
And I had good staff sergeants at the same time. They recognize that, like, dude, you're a good Marine. Don't leave. Like,
Yeah,
just, like I said, don't let this unit kill you, because you're gonna go on. There's gonna be new leadership. Just stay. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. So even my mass sergeant pulled me in from like our communications headquarters, and he was like, why don't you want to stay in? And I was like, cause I can't go nowhere. I don't want to be here no more. Like, I want to do something different. I actually want to go to different units.
yeah.
And he's like, my boy's a monitor, so I'll call the monitor up. Still couldn't get me nothing.
Damn.
I was like, all right then, you tried. That's it.
That's it.
And they
I'm
were
out.
gonna send me back to headquarters. On top of that, I was gonna be stuck in the battery, but back in the headquarters doing gear layouts for officers,
And you
doing
couldn't get out of
bullshit
there at
again, dude.
all?
They had no openings. And every
Wow.
time, like I said before, originally when I was, like a lance or new corporal, they didn't
Yeah.
want to send me.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
fucked up.
I just got sick of it. And then I had a new staff sergeant that came in. And he was cool, and he was like, "Nah, bro, like, you can go. We'll try to work something out." I was like, "I've already heard that. Like, I don't believe it." So,
Yeah. I'm out. Damn.
but now I look back at it, I'm like, "Fuck, maybe I should have stayed in." All my friends or some of them, they're already making staff right now.
Oh, really? Do
Even
you,
the guys that came before me or after me, staff.
how often do you think about potentially being back in or getting in?
I've it's weird. I mean, I have dreams a lot of just like times of us being back in with the
Yeah.
boys, thinking like having dreams about like, oh, I'm gonna go back in,
Yeah.
being in again. I think about it a lot, even now. And nah,
No.
just with everything, like I have some stuff I go to the VA for. My fucking knees hurt,
Yeah.
in a certain way that they can't even say that. Um, like they say it's a, what is that thing called? When your knees are fucked up, tendonitis or something. I don't know,
Oh,
like,
some shit like that. Yeah, yeah,
but it's fucked up. It hurts a lot. I can't
yeah.
sleep right. Like I fucked it up in Japan one time. I remember I was like running. We're doing like stupid hikes and runs, and I like popped out or something. I remember it was fucked up.
Yeah.
So
Yikes.
between that and all the other bullshit that you've
Just
probably
the
got wrong with you,
military Marine Corps stress, physical stress.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
PFT,
I don't really
CFTs.
want to do it. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then, but like you were saying, a lot of people are getting out or did get out and had a rough time. And in the beginning, I was having a rough time with it too.
Initially, was it? Would you say it was initial, like more early on than later for you in the year?
Well, it's like you said, we have like your honeymoon phase, right? You get out
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, yes, now I can go do drugs. I can do whatever I want. I can
Yeah.
go travel whenever I want to. Fuck, I don't care. I can stay up all night and not go to
Sure.
work,
Sure.
right? So, yeah, it was cool. I mean, I was like, cool, I'm just gonna go to school. I'm gonna, make big money, going
Right.
to work for somebody not in the military because I'll make more money out here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not the same.
It's not.
I started going to school and it's cool. Like I do like school and it's good, but you can't live off of school money, dude. You really can't. Even out here, and it's low rent out here.
Yeah. Well, it also the GI Bill functions as like where you're at and how much it costs, right?
Yeah.
So it's not gonna overpay you.
So I was getting like what at the time, because I think it was like a rate of 1,300 or maybe 1,200 for full class,
Hmm.
every month, but that's not enough to live out here
Yeah.
for anywhere really.
Yeah.
So you
I
gotta
can't
get a
live off
job.
here over here. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I realized this is the biggest other thing that's kind of irritating too is when you get out, you're super qualified to do things that, you're fine. Whether it be even admin shit, everybody could do admin shit in the Marines. You're
Yeah.
already done it. Filling out counselings, filling out gear reports, filling out your guys' truck bullshit that I hated doing too.
PMCSs.
All that dumb truck shit, dude. I hated doing all the dumb truck shit. Getting underneath it and fucking putting the dumb grease in all the dumb
We lived
things.
it. Yeah, greasing up all those grease points. Those like 52 grease points.
my God. And yeah, but and then you get out and you put all the shit on the resumes, and nobody wants to hire you.
Yeah,
And you're like,
that's the tricky
what
part.
the fuck, dude?
People say it opens doors for you.
It doesn't. And the people who are like, oh, military this, thank you for your service, but you're not qualified still. And I'm like, this basic job I'm not qualified for. Dude, I couldn't even I applied for like a radio, it said radio operating or dispatching job for like a construction site,
No.
and I wasn't qualified enough for it. And I'm like,
Wow.
so
Yeah.
it was definitely a struggle in the beginning.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how that is, right? Like you get out and you think you're gonna have a little bit of an easier time, um, getting back into the regular job, scenario and the community, and you end up finding yourself having a way harder time to fucking get back into
Yeah.
the way of things. It's so unexpected, and nobody even hints it at you. Nobody's like, hey, when you get out, it may not be as smooth as you think. Just letting you know that there's
Well, I don't know how your guys' leaving procedure was, but
TRS.
I mean, for the most part, they weren't too bad with us. A lot of people were like, they asked us. A lot of my superiors at one point asked me like, "What are you doing when you get out? Do you have a plan?" And so they were on top of it for the most part.
Oh,
But
not for us.
TRS, they did a good job of telling everything. But where it did fall out was all these programs that you were offered and you
Mhm.
could do. They sent you to TRS too goddamn late to even get in the programs.
Oh, like towards
You
the
need
end
to,
of your
yeah.
enlistment, yeah.
Technically, you're supposed to
One
start
year,
TRSing what, like 6 months? Yeah, 1 year to 6 months, right?
yeah,
All these programs you needed to have that, so
yeah.
you could get out and be a wireman
But
or
they
a
don't.
lineman for a power company or something.
Yeah, but they don't. They send you to that program where you're in your like last month or something.
Yeah.
They want to
So all
make
these programs, they're cool, but you can't even get into them.
yeah, because you're already on your way out of the fucking potentially the country. I mean, not the country, sorry, the state, or that city in general. It's like,
Hmm.
dude, these guys could have been working on this from a year ago, right? When you're supposed to be working on your transition, but you decided that you want them to fucking pull later hours to help you guys with whatever your next thing is going to be because you just can't afford to lose them, or you don't want to put
Yeah.
other Marines in their position.
It's like you said, they get, or some to the point where they're kind of selfish in a way. Like the
Yeah.
leadership wants to keep the best ones because they get the best degrees of, like, what is it called, gear layouts, or they just have that best Marines. They don't want to get rid of them right now. They don't
Yeah.
want to change shit up because
That's a
it'll
real thing.
mess up their marks or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, but there
Yeah.
was a guy too, man. He was not ready to get out. He was not at all. I'm talking about to the last day he was in. This dude still thought, like, he had no plan of getting home.
Wow.
He was in the barracks, no plan of getting home, and nobody, like, whatever.
Nobody even talked to him. Nothing.
I guess. I mean, I told him, I was like, hey, you got a plan to go home? He told me, but I'm like, at that point, dude, you're a grown adult. He was a corporal, he was a grown adult.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hold your hand to get out, but
Sure.
he was a little bit on the special side. I love the dude, but
Yeah.
the dude would take duty for like a 6 pack of Mountain Dew.
Oh wow. Yeah. Special types of dude. That's what I mean. Questionable guys.
Dude, in Japan, he was roommates with this big bodybuilder dude
Uh-huh.
and another dude of ours, and those two dudes were scared of him because he would say weird shit and crazy shit. He said he had a book. He's like, I have a book, a kill book, and he would talk
What?
about this weird shit. And
Okay.
it's just because everybody picked on the dude. That's
Oh.
why. He was one of those Marines that they picked on his ass too much.
Wow.
He was one of those guys that you're like, hey, bro, call me to not come in the office
Yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
that
Let me
day,
know when you
please.
go to the range.
Exactly.
That way I don't show up.
But he was a good dude. He was a lot, at a couple times. But he was weird because he had your back. He's just weird. That's what I was saying. Even the weird ones in the Marines, he had your back.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he scared the shit out of those guys.
They're
But
like
he had
fucking
no
kill
man.
book. Yeah.
He had no plan of getting home, and that's the type of shit that I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah, well, that's honestly some people necessarily don't set a plan. Like I thought I had it all figured out. I thought I had some plans. I had like two plans. They
Yeah.
both fell through. unfortunately. Um, and then that's when I was just like, fuck, what do I do? What do I do? And one thing one of the guys on the podcast said, Briseño actually, he was like, don't fucking rush into trying to figure out what you gotta do. Like you you, you
But
still
it's
have to.
hard. It's hard not to because
I
you feel
know,
like I need
I
to
know, I know, I
or I'm
get it,
failing.
I get it, I get it. I know, I feel that way too. It's like, fuck, what am I doing with my life? Right? You're like, fuck, what the
Well,
fuck?
because our gunny was like telling us like, you're not gonna get out and do shit. Like pretty much telling us like the Marine Corps is the best option for you. And he
Yeah.
was like, "What are you gonna do? You're gonna get out and do some dead end job, blah blah." So at that time, I'm like, I'm just trying to prove this motherfucker wrong.
Yeah, I get it, dude. I fucking get it. Like you're like, I'm just gonna be doing something good as fuck, some hot shit job. But sometimes it's not that easy, and I think it's very easy to forget that you don't have to fucking go as like it doesn't have to be immediate. You don't have to immediate because again, you don't. I personally still may not, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. It's like I got out of the Marine Corps at like 24. I was just fucking, and then I was barely starting to figure out the regular world. I'm just like, what the fuck's going on?
I'm
You know,
telling you what, dude. I don't know if you go to school, but going back to school, like the first couple of months out or whatever, it's rough.
is it really? I haven't gone.
Everybody irritates you.
Oh, I
You
bet.
hear about these people bitching about shit, and you're just like,
Shut the fuck up. you're
it
like,
is
you're
definitely
like, that's
irritating.
not shit. Shut up.
And then we had a so if you do go to National Guard, I'm gonna I'm gonna punk you a lot
Yeah. Ah, that's cool.
because dude, these guys would show up to class, man, in their full utilities in their
Hell yeah.
backpack. And I'm like, bro, we're not doing nothing. You're not doing nothing here.
That's
I'm
what I'm
like,
gonna do. That's what I'm gonna
what are you
do.
dressed
I'm
up
gonna wear.
for, man?
I'm gonna put my medals on my fucking camis. I'm
Oh
just
my
gonna walk
god.
around like that, dude.
But these guys are just like full. I mean, full everything, boots, backpack, everything. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
What's going on, man? What's going on right now? Are you showing up to school
And some
or?
people were like, they're like, oh man, he must be in the army. I'm like, that dude's in the National Guard. We ain't got no army base out here.
Yeah. Why would he wear his uniform to class? Did you ever talk to him about it? Or being
Couldn't
in the
bring
Marine
myself
Corps?
to it, man.
Huh?
No, I mean, I talked to him. Like, I didn't tell him I was in the Marine Corps because it's not gonna. I don't know. I just at the point at that. It's also a weird time where like I don't want to tell people I was in. It's like I don't need to
Mm.
boast about it at the same
Sure.
And when people bring up shit about it, I don't really raise my hand either. Because again, like I don't feel like I'm that Marine. Like I'm not the
Mm.
ideal picture. Like they're gonna ask you because I remember I did it one time. I raised my hand one. They're like, "Oh, did you go to Afghanistan, Iraq? Did you be combat?" I'm like, "Fuck, nope, didn't do it." So that's
Yeah.
another reason why I don't raise my hand and shit. But
Mm.
no, I talked to him, but I was just asking him like, "Oh, so are you in the army or?" And he's like, "No, I'm in National Guard." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool, man. Cool. What do you do?" And I think he was signals, which is comm too for them,
Mm.
but he was just
Interesting.
there going to class.
Just like going to class in uniform. Want to? Hey, good for him. Fuck it. What
Yeah,
what
if
would
you
you
haven't done
what would you say, right, during your transition? What would you say were some of maybe the difficult challenges that you were facing when you were getting out?
moving, moving was a big challenge for me.
Moving.
So, um, just because, man, the way to get out of the military is weird. If you so when we got back from our MU or our deployment, I had
Sure.
about 6 months, and my wife moved back home to be her family because she didn't want to be alone when I was gone. So now I'm back. So now I got to get a spot because they won't let me stay in the barracks that long. They were just like,
Right.
no, you're not. You're married. Get the fuck out. So now I gotta go rent an apartment somewhere. So it means I gotta sign another lease for whatever long. So now when it comes to getting out, I have to technically break that lease.
Yeah.
And so before everybody's like, you'll be fine, you got orders to go, you're leaving the Corps, you have some kind of leaving orders.
Right.
Well, the fucking apartment building said those are not orders to a different duty station. So they don't count under that law. You know what I'm saying? Like that Patriot law or whatever that you can.
Yeah.
So I had a big old issue with that. Sent me
Wow.
to collections, and they're trying to get
What?
money. They kept my deposit of $800. Yeah. Um, then I came out here. I went to the Air Force base that we have down the street from here over here. It's Nellis. And I had my ID and I got a hold of legal. Man, they're the worst lawyers ever.
Are they
This
really?
dude was like, he was like, oh, I tried calling them. They won't answer me. They won't return my calls. You're probably just gonna have to pay them. I'm like,
Wow.
bro.
What type of answer is that?
He was like, you can try going to back to Pendleton and seeing if you can get some some of the Marine legal. Maybe they'll help you out better because you did leave their base and maybe they have it better. I'm like, God damn, you
You
useless.
suck. Yeah.
So I just didn't. Eventually, they stopped calling me, and it's not on my credit report or anything like that. So I
That's
think
good.
they were in the wrong in general.
Yeah.
I think they realized it, but I didn't get my deposit back. So,
Hmm.
but between that, man, moving and then you have to figure out, because when you get out, you have to save up. If you're good, you should save up a certain amount of money to live off of because you're not going to be working and school doesn't just start.
Sure. Did you take any terminal leave though? Any vacation days?
Yeah, I had a month of terminal leave. I did it with a month left.
Okay,
So,
so you got
and
paid for a month after you got out.
yeah, I had a good amount. I had some savings, but you still have to pay to move. And then when you
Right.
pay to move, you have to set it up, the whole bullshit paperwork, and that shit's a fucking fiasco of stuff.
Right.
So, but it's just in general of you having knowing where you're gonna live and being financially stable. Like, are you financially stable? You think you are, and then you get out and you're like, fuck.
I'm not.
That's what I was saying, man. You go to work, you start going to school, and you're like, school will be fine, BAH will pay for it, but you don't even get the full amount in the first month of class because you're not in a full month. They only give
Right.
you a certain amount. They'll give you like
Damn.
they'll prorate you for how long you've been in that
Oh, so it's
class,
not
that
just the
month.
whole paycheck like that, huh?
So if you get $1,400 a month, well, supposedly with full classes, the first month and like the last month of that semester, you're only getting like a certain amount of it. You're not getting all of it.
Hmm.
So that was a big challenge, is just figuring out where I'm gonna live and this and that. I worked it out. We lived with her grandmother at the time to save up money
Right.
to get somewhere else. So, and then the job thing, same thing, man. Nobody wants to hire. It
Yeah.
seems like. So those are the two top big things. Besides that, not crawling back to the Marines, or you know,
Yeah.
going right
Was it?
back into something ASAP.
Would you say it was because it was some sort of like a weird emotional attachment to it?
It still is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still do. And the same thing, like, yeah, you don't, you feel comfortable. You know what you're doing there. You
Mm-hmm.
have some kind of a purpose. You know that you got to go fix trucks. You know you got to go,
Sure.
fuck with radios and this and that. Now you're out here and you're like,
The fuck.
I know I'm supposed to be, doing something in college, maybe getting a better job, maybe. Some people have it really figured out when they get out. Other people don't.
Some people.
Some
Yeah.
people are in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. It
But
gets
let
difficult. What would you recommend for uh anybody who's getting out of the service to potentially get done, or a way to go about it?
there's a lot of programs in there that you have to really be invested in. So like they had they used to have like the US Map It thing where you can, and I was doing it for a little bit, but it wasn't enough. But so what you do is you write your hours in. You
Mm-hmm.
you write your hours in
Oh, right.
for like some kind of like job that is closely related and you can get some kind of cert for that.
Mm-hmm.
So for mine, it was air traffic controller. So you had to have like I don't know, like a big amount of hours,
Right.
but it was supposed to be all 4 years. So you write it out, you give it to your, officer, and they sign it. That's a program that you should, probably look into. And then just go into all the free college stuff. I didn't even have a chance to do the free college stuff, the
Me
the
either.
tuition assistance. We were always too busy,
Same.
too tempo. You can't go.
Mm-hmm.
But that and man, I don't know, man. Fight with your command if they don't send you to TRS in a valid time, man.
Yeah, maybe try to potentially get into those classes a year at least before you get out of the service, because
Just don't be static, I guess I would say. Like,
yeah.
don't just get out and then be one of those people who's cussing out the military and this and that because they didn't help you. Like, at a certain point, you gotta help yourself. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
you
shit
got
out there.
yeah,
You just gotta find it.
yeah, you have to do your part, because You can't just expect the benefits that you were thinking you were gonna get or anything like that. We do get some benefits, and don't get me wrong, we might not all take advantage of them all. I know I don't, but sometimes you gotta get going on by yourself. No,
Same
out here,
thing with that
nobody's gonna take care
VA,
of you.
man.
You know, out
Just
here,
like the VA too, man.
yeah,
I mean, that's why I was asking you because I have friends that they don't feel like they deserve it because they, they're like, man, there's people out there with, like you said, W amputees and people who are really messed up. They deserve it. But it's like I tell them, like, dude, if you get it, it's not like you're taking it away from
yeah,
those people.
yeah. You're not.
They could get it too.
Yeah,
So, but there's people missing out. Don't miss out on that. Even if you get 0%, you
that's
want it
something.
because yeah, you want to be able to go back and have them treat it because it's gonna get worse.
Yeah,
Mine's gotten worse.
yeah.
So, and they helped me with the VA is iffy depending on where you go, but here it's been pretty good.
Yeah, it definitely depends on location. I think they're recently opening up one closer to where I'm at now, which is nice because I used to have to drive a decent amount to get to one, and I
Yeah,
fucking hated going that far. It wasn't like super far, but I just didn't like going into that part of the city. It was just too busy and shit.
and
Um,
I get it, man. Going to the VAs, like you walk in there and you really do see the heroes. Let's put it that way, man.
mhm.
You see the guys who are in Vietnam. Some maybe you'll get Korea or World War II vet out there, but
Yeah,
you you're hurt too in the same sense.
yeah.
It's
It's just
different.
all it is just different times and different situations and different experiences. It's just I don't think you should feel any sort of guilt unless you're like playing the system. But if you do feel shitty and you are like not what you were before, then go for it. It's something that I think the compensation is deserved. But again,
Yeah.
it's just you taking care of yourself because again, nobody's gonna do it for you out here. Um, and looking back at it now, would you say that I know you didn't get to go overseas or anything like that, but would you say that we're over there for the right reasons or anything like that?
Um. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I I take for granted, I guess, some of the moments I wish I would have done more.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily more like in a sense of combat and this and that, but more with all the like the guys like you said, more time with everybody. I shouldn't have stayed more into the room maybe at one point. Maybe I should have explored Japan more, or I should have explored different options of different courses. They had jungle warfare out there, and I didn't want to do that shit. Maybe I should have done that shit.
Yeah, it would have
Like
sucked, but it would have been an experience.
there's a lot of different courses that not everybody gets to go to. What is it, airborne school?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wish I would have took advantage of all those type of things. Um,
Yeah.
but going out there for the right reasons. I mean, like you said, I guess we had our reason of just being out there just in case something did happen. So
Yeah. Yeah.
would have been
That's
cool to do something, yeah, but it
yeah.
didn't.
You guys were playing your role, and that's what it was. Um, well, is there anything that you would recommend for people who are currently struggling with any sort of mental issues or anything on the back burner where it comes to getting out of the Marine Corps or just being out here and dealing with the civilian side that has helped you?
Um, well, I will say this, man. It's like I said with the whole peacetime thing, it's kind of getting everybody too. Um, we had a guy who committed suicide in um, I think he was like a lance corporal. Like he just got there, but he was dealing with shit too. And it's because nobody thought he was going to do it. And they tell you that all the time. Like these guys don't ever tell you they're going to do it.
Yeah.
But it's because nobody talked to him. Like you don't talk to your buddies like that. Same thing out here. And that's what I was saying when I see things on Facebook. It's like a guy's like he's gone, but nobody thought he was going to because they just said, like, oh man, I haven't talked to him in a minute.
Yeah.
I say the biggest thing is just keep contact with everybody.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, try to keep as much contact because it's not just helping them to a degree, it's helping you too. Like I try to, for a while before COVID, I would get together with a couple of them. We would go yearly somewhere. So
That's awesome.
whether it's say if it was in Washington or Seattle, we would go to you, and then if I live in Vegas, everybody one year would come to me, and it
Oh, that's
helped.
super cool.
We tried doing it for a while, and even now we have them. We have our Facebook iMessage stuff, and
Hmm.
we talk back and forth. But talking a lot of this stuff out is what helped me to feel like I'm not, alone in certain senses.
Yeah.
Cause you remember, dude, you're going through stuff, and you'd be able to be like at work talking to your buddies about it.
Oh yeah,
It's
just
like
go next
you
door or
don't
go
don't
across.
have that anymore. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's a crazy support group that you have and that you don't realize you have until you're out of the Marine Corps or out of the military in general. But yeah, like you said, I think it's important to constantly keep in touch. Um, and you know, I like I say before, and I've said it on several other episodes. It's hard to talk about things that are bothering you, especially coming
it
from
is.
a very warrior ethos branch. Um, but I don't think it should be frowned upon because it's fucking good to just talk about it and kind of let it all out. And you'll realize that your boys may or may not be feeling the same way, and that you opening up could potentially help them talk to you about their own issues and their own things. So
Well, it's just because it teaches don't be weak.
yeah,
You know,
nobody
keep it in.
cares. Don't be weak.
Exactly.
You know, and and,
So
and they do a very good job at making you a Marine and making you feel that way, but they don't do a good job at helping you transition. And I don't know if it should be their role or that's where I'm still kind of confused on. I'm not entirely sure whose part who needs to play that part where it comes to getting back out and trying to get adjusted to not being around that same sort of environment and tempo and groups, your friends and shit.
I
So,
will say though that also like because you're married too, right?
mm-hmm.
I didn't mention your wife, and I've been married since I've been in, dude. Like I got married at 2014, been married ever since. And she's been through me through the whole Marine Corps thing. She saw me getting irritated, coming home, doing blah blah blah. But when
Sure.
we got out, the stuff didn't change for me. Like I still got irritated. I
Yeah.
still, and even to this day, like I'm not as sensitive.
Yeah.
I'm super insensitive. Like I see things that other people be like, "Damn, you should be more sensitive to it." Blah
Or
blah
like,
blah. It's definitely affected my relationship in that way,
yeah.
and it's still shit that I gotta work on. Just the
Yeah.
fact that we were meant to be, we were told to be tough, and this and that. You
Yeah.
know.
You were meant to not really fucking feel sorry for anything and just like I talked about this with Rebecca, which she was on the podcast. Is that you're taught to kind of be a warrior. You're not really taught to be somebody who's like, oh hey, are you okay? You're like fucking suck it up, bitch. Let's go. You know,
Mhm.
like oh my fucking the bottom of my feet are gone from the hike. Well, we
Just
were
just
all
little things, man. Yeah, and
we
then you
were
gotta
all
realize,
there.
I gotta remember, I'm like, she's my wife, not,
Yeah,
there's sometimes
not
where she's
somebody
like,
else, not another Marine
yeah,
or yeah,
she's told me, even before when I was in, she's like, I'm not one of your Marines, like you can't use
yeah.
that rough, on the whole, you gotta have some emotion. I'm like, I don't know.
I know. I'm sorry. I know it's hard. It definitely affects the way you think and the way you may potentially behave. And again, like I was saying, it doesn't do a good job at easing you back into your normal behavior. But that's because you grow up with that as you're young, and I personally think that's a big thing. Is those years 19, 18 through whatever 24, 23. Those are very important when it comes to developing your character as a young adult male, and we were around nothing but testosterone and aggressiveness, whether you call it your sort of aggressiveness or some sort of violence. And then you get out and it's like, oh, none of that is acceptable out here, none of it, zero. So it's
Dude,
like,
I think I had my first like real drunking experience when I got to the fleet. Like they grabbed us out of the rooms and was like, "Y'all coming upstairs?" Two corporals, and they were like, "You guys are gonna chug these, or you're gonna play a game, right?" It was like we're gonna put some funny videos on YouTube, and if one of you guys laughs, you drink. So they gave us beers, and I didn't even like beer, dude. I don't even. When I went in, I hated beer. I only drank hard alcohol.
yeah,
So it was gross. And they just made us chug that, go in the shower and shotgun something like real homo-y things.
yeah.
And that's why I tell everybody, I'm like, there'll be no gayer or anti-homo, like all Marines you can't be homophobic. You just can't.
Yeah, it's
We just do some like real gay shit. But we're
it's
straight. Like I
yeah,
don't know, we're
yeah,
comfortable.
yeah. Just comfortable with who you are, and they make it. Fucking boot camp is weird, you know. It's like
Dude,
everybody get in that porta john and piss. All 5 of you stuffed in there. You just get comfortable around the fact that
no doors on
yeah,
the
no
bathrooms, taking
doors when you're
shit,
shitting. Yeah.
talking to people while you taking shits is another thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a
Oh
big
my
one.
god.
Yeah, it's such a weird environment, and then you come out here and everything's completely. It's such a weird sort of tempo, and it's hard to explain, obviously, um, but it's something that takes time. That's all it is. It takes time, and it takes yourself to remind yourself that that's it. You know, it's hard to accept it. It's hard to accept that, especially if you weren't too sure if you were gonna get out or if you hated it and had a terrible experience. And I can see how you can get out of that mindset a little bit easier, maybe.
Hmm.
But it's still
Some people do have some really like they just don't, they'll swear up and down. Even now, like I hated that. It was the worst thing. Marine sucked. It was the worst thing in my life.
yeah, yeah. Some people definitely, some people just completely hate it, and it wasn't for them. But hey, that's how
It
you
is what
learn,
it
I
is.
guess. Trying it out, and that's you found out it wasn't for you. But hey, man, we're at 2.5 hours. Let's
Oh, I
we're
bet
gonna
it was long. Yep.
we're gonna call it. Thanks for coming on here. I appreciate you telling your story and your experience. I hope you guys all enjoyed. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Thanks for having me on.
yeah, of course, brother. I had a good time, and we'll be in touch. All right, everybody. Thank you.